Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the 2025 World Rowing Under-19 Championships here in Trakai, Lithuania. My name is Tim van Vliet. I'll be your English commentator for this afternoon, and this is the semi-final day here in Trakai after a very few exciting races. We had the heats, we had the minor finals this morning, and we are looking to a packed program of semi-finals this afternoon. Just a quick update on the weather. It's sunny, a few clouds, and a very lovely bit of tail breeze here on the course here in Trakai. And if you're watching the pictures, you can see Trakai Castle here, a stunning venue for the Under-19 World Rowing Championships. We start this afternoon's program with the Star Race, where celebrities meet the best of Lithuanian rowing here on the water. But before we go to the Star Race, I'd like to introduce to you my Lithuanian co-commentator, Ieva Adomavičiūtė. A very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me here.
Thank you for inviting me. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, and lovely to have you here with all your experience here on the lake. We'll discuss later all the times you train here, because of course this lake is also the venue for Lithuania's national rowing team. They train here on Lake Trakai, or Lake Galvei as I'm told it's called, and you can see some of the beauty pictures here. We're right in the middle of a nature reserve as well. There's plenty of well, wonderful things to see. It's a forested area. We have Trakai Castle here as the backdrop, and we'll talk about that Star Race in a few moments. That is due to start in about 7 minutes, and you can see some of the crews already lining up here, and here they are. The race, 200-meter race, so it's a quick race, or it will be a quick race, but it's going to be a very exciting race. And Ieva, we talked about this Star Race, and if I'm informed correctly, some of the best rowers from Lithuania are here in this race.
Yes, there are my peer partner for the Olympic Games from Paris, Camilla. So yeah, she's rowing a sculling boat, so that's new for her. And men rowers, they are from they won a medal at World Cup, so they are from the three of them, and one guy, he's from the Paris Olympic Games as well. He rowed a single there, so they're all really well-known rowers in Lithuania.
Yeah, it's a wonderful initiative, isn't it? To see some of the best rowers from Lithuania racing here on the course. You can see them waiting here, a little smile and wave to the camera from the crew here in, I think that is lane number 1. And it's fantastic to have them here. We have these athletes racing in a double, but there's also a pair, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, and these crews sort of readying themselves. And your pairs partner from Paris is, of course, in this race. You just mentioned that.
Yeah, she's in lane 1. Yeah, you can see her on the screen right now.
Did she give you any intel on the training they done to prepare for this event, or are you as...
Specifically for this one, no. I think they didn't row a lot together because it's more for fun. But yeah, I know most of these people like the stars, because the Dianas Sodait is at lane 5. He's in a pair, so I was teaching him how to row on the rowing machine on Concept 2. Yeah, I was helping him to prepare for the 500 meters race in December. So yeah, so I said to him that he should try rowing in a boat. So
well, he's getting a wonderful opportunity here, but we go to a short segment, so we'll join you.
Yeah.
6 Lithuanian influencers thrown into the world of elite rowing with zero prep. They've got just a few hours, 1 training session, and 1 shot. Each will row with a pro athlete at the U19 World Rowing Championships in just a few days. No time, no mercy. Will they sink or surprise us all?
Pirmą kartą tokį dalyką darau, su irklavimu, tai turiu patirties tiek, kad per tose pačiose trakuose kokią nors mergytę, žinai, atsivežti ir pairkluoti iki Vilės.
Tai žiauriai baisu, bet, nu, laimiai plaukt moku, tai kaip nors gal. Ir atsiminkit, aš pasirašiau šitam.
Rankos mano neklauso.
Dažniausiai tokius atsakymus sakau, kad valgau tokius pusryčiams, bet čia ne. Ne šiandien. Žinau, kaip bėgime, svarbiausia ne startas, o finišas. Tai mes žiūrime, kaip čia tas finišas bus.
Atrodo žiauriai paprasta ir labai primityvu ir elementaru, nu, tipo, ir plok. Ir tada, tipo, ne, reikia padaryti 7 skirtingus dalykus, bet taip idealiai ir tik tada tau išeis ir tada tu apie kiekvieną iš tų 7 dalykų galvoji atskirai ir tada neišeina, aišku, nei vienas.
Ne, nesitikėjau, kad bus taip sunku iš tikrųjų.
Geras, labai svarbu komandinis darbas. Vienas šitaip nebus pavaręs tikrai.
Medalių reikia. Pasaulio čempė turi būti. Bent jau šokoladinių. Pirmieji grįžom iš treniruotės, tai yra jau ženklas. Ar sutapimas?
Apskritai irklavimas yra labai sudėtingas dalykas, atrodė, kad yra daug lengvesnis.
Sakė, jeigu susipyks su broliu, mane paims, tada važiuosim kartu.
So after that quick introduction, you could see all the preparation they did, which wasn't much, to be honest. We dive straight into the action with the starting list. Would you like to take us through it, Eva?
Yeah, so at lane 1, there is a women's double scull. The bow seat is my peer partner, Kamilė Kralikaitė, and stroke seat is Rasa Linkaitė. She's a photographer from Lithuania. And then lane 2 is Stankūnas Domantas, as well-known brother from the men's pair, and he also raced in men's 4 this year. And then lane 3 is... oh, I see, okay. So the stroke seat is Martynas Tyla. He's also...
I think he's a prominent figure in the music industry here in Lithuania. This is lane 3?
Yeah, lane 3 is Juškevičius Mantas. He is a bronze medalist at World Cup in men's 4. And stroke seat is Leonas Samovas. He is electronic music artist. Lane 4. I think this double will be really fast because it's Giedrius Beliauskas. He is from the Paris Olympic Games, from the single, and Mykolaitis Paulius, he is like an influencer, famous influencer from Lithuania.
They look really sharp and focused to me.
Yeah, and lane 5 is Stankūnas Dovydas, another brother from Stankūnas family, and Danas Sadaitis, he is a sprinter from para running, and he is the one that I was coaching to row as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you were training him on the erg, but this is, of course, a completely different thing.
Different,
we are, in the Netherlands we have a saying that the ergometer sinks. So you might be a fantastic athlete on the erg, but you have to put that out on the water.
And I think it's especially rowing in the pair is really difficult. If they have only one practice, I will be happy if they won't fall out from the boat.
Yes, having raced in the pair myself, I think it's probably one of the most difficult boats to row. But they're on the start. I think they're on the starter's orders. It's just 200 meters to race. We'll see who gets the best start.
I think it's the one who will put in oars together and take them off the water will win, because it's not about how strong they are.
Oh yeah, here they go. Great start by Giedrius Beliauskas and Paulius Mykolaitis, who were quick out of the blocks as we ride here with the crew in lane 1 with your crewmate. Teammate
oh,
from Paris.
you're so fast. Oh, you see, it's not who is the strongest physically, it's the ones who put the oars together.
I think the crew with Beliauskas in the bow seat, they just went for the tactic, I row and you sit as still as you possibly can. Here we are going absolutely hammer and thongs down the track, but on the far side it's really close between Kralinkaite and Linkaite, who might be edging in the lead.
They look so good. They look like they have been rowing together for some time, more than one time.
Oh yes, and here they are. Oh, a bit of a crab there from the crew in lane 1. Fantastic race by the pair in the lane number 5 as well. But the win, a very easy win for your crewmate from Paris. And boy, is she pleased. It was, in the end, the first 100 meters, it was really close, but then they sort of put the hammer down and they just went for it. Clear water margin in the end. We'll have to wait for the official verdict, but they did it sub 1 minute.
Oh, the conditions looks good as well, so.
Yeah, it's great conditions here out on the lake, and we can see that the umpire, we see him raising the white flag, which denotes that he thinks the racing went down fair and according to all the regulations. So that's a wonderful victory for Kamila Kralinkaite and Rasa Linkaite. They took an easy victory in the end, but yeah, not
by almost 5 seconds.
By almost 5 seconds, yeah. Perhaps not surprisingly, because I've been told that Rasa in the stroke seat actually was a rower herself in her junior days.
Oh, okay. Now I can understand why they row so well, because I thought all of them just had one training together and then they had to race, but I was so surprised how well she can row. So yeah, now I see that she was a junior rower.
Yeah, it's a bit like riding a bicycle. If once you learn it, it's difficult to unlearn. Second place there for the combination of Beliauskas and Mykolaitis, who went for an unusual tactic, but they got second in the end. Third across the line, I believe that was the combination of Dovydas Stankounas and Danas Sudaitis, who were racing the pair, so a fantastic performance by them, despite rowing a pair which is considered a slightly slower boat class than the double. They made it across the line. Third, fourth was Domantas Stankounas together with Martinas Tilla, and last but definitely not least was Mantas Juskevicius and Leon Somer, who crossed the line 5th overall.
And the lane 4 that we can see now, they are actually Paulius Mykolaitis. He was doing a lot of Hyrox races, so he's really fit, but as you can see, it was difficult for him to put the blades in. So, as I said, it's not about how fit you are sometimes.
No, you need to row well, and yeah, we'll discuss that when we get into the semi-final action later today, which is due to start at approximately 1:25. We'll get back with the full program later, but it's a nice demonstration race from these celebrities, having just trained just the once, and a few of them now arriving at the Victory Pontoon, where I believe they will be interviewed, and I can see a few people also gathering down there. I think they've been given a mascot. The event has a mascot, if I'm informed correctly. Do you know anything about that mascot? It's a green triangle, which I've seen everywhere here on the venue.
I honestly don't know really well about them, but yeah, it's, I think, instead of medals, right?
Yeah.
Medal winners.
Here
Danas Sudaitis. Danas, how do you
Quick
feel?
interview.
Like a bronze medal winner.
So it's not bad.
Usually I'm more aimed for a goal, but this time that's key.
What was the hardest part of this race for you?
So as maybe you saw in our row, so the start have some issues, but I'm very proud for the end. It's all the time, it's not about the start, it's about the finish. So our finish was strong.
Dovydas, how was your teammates? Can you show thumbs up or thumbs down? Yeah, thank you. And now, the president of Lithuania Rowing Federation, Mindaugas Griškonis, will hand you the third place prizes. So Paul, the maker.
as we get a quick
Paul
interview
D'Amico
with
and
silver
Giedrius
medalists.
Belauskas is here, the second place winners. Paulius, how was it?
Good, I guess. We're second, aren't we?
Yeah, you are. Giedrius, how was your teammate? At the very end of the course, you almost lost the second place.
We just had a very strict strategy. It was set from the very first day we met with Giedrius. I was supposed to just let him do all the work, not interfere. It clearly worked. We stuck to the strategy. We had a game plan. The game plan was clearly successful. All good.
Giedrius, did you do more work that you had to do?
Yes. All of the work. All of the work.
Completely honest team, and now Mindaugas Griškonis.
Come on.
Yeah, it worked. The second place is a good place. Thank you. Mindaugas Griškonis will hand the prizes for the second place.
Great little interview there for the second place, with a clear strategy not to interfere too much and just let Belauskas in the Bausi do most of the work. And it paid off. Silver medal for them. It paid off. The silver medal. It was for them.
Yeah.
As you can see, the replay here of that finish with the crew with bound number 4 getting to that silver medal position here, as we have a few pictures of the grandstand with a few fans from Turkey as we jump straight to the next interview, which is of course with the winners who, well, produced a phenomenal race, a quick start, but an even quicker second 500. And we'll see them in just a few moments. You can see the grandstand absolutely packed as we see the winners.
And Rasa, girl power, girl power. It's all about girl power today. Girls, how are you feeling after winning the race?
Amazing.
Camila, how was your teammate? Obviously, she was a great teammate, but what are your thoughts?
No, she was amazing. We did a good warm-up. So ready. And we did it. Yay.
Rasa, what was the hardest part of this track? Or was it at least one hard part?
Oh, it was. No, the beginning is fine. Let's go. And then the middle is like, oh my God, this is happening. Okay. And then Camila started shouting like, let's speed up. And then, okay, let's go. No matter what. So, yeah.
From my very fan look perspective, you had the best technique. Could you agree?
I think so. Yeah, win is a win. Best technique, best, strongest.
Rasa, you know rowing, yeah? You did a bit of the rowing. Is it true?
Yes, I did 23 years ago. So, you know, so it's the first time after 23 years, so it's okay.
So memory is still there, the muscle memory.
Muscle memory works, yes. So if you're thinking to start again, so do it because body remembers. So yeah, it's great.
I know that you're a professional photographer. Will you do a free headshots for Camille?
Yes, of course.
Camilla, how do you look to that?
Sorry?
She's a professional photographer. She will do some photos of you after this race, you know?
Oh, that's really nice. I like that.
And now, Mindaugas Griškonis will hand the first place prizes for this amazing crew, Rasa and Camille. Give it up for our winner of the star race.
And I was just informed that the mascot is actually called Splash, which is the official mascot here in Trakai for the Under-19 World Rowing Championships, as we see a little bit of the recap of the finish of that crew that placed first here in that star race. And big smiles and celebrations all round as they congratulate each other with a job well done. As you can see here, the grandstand once again packed with family, mothers, fathers, grandparents, and everybody is looking forward to this afternoon's program, because it's going to be a really exciting day. The Saturday, a difficult day for most athletes, because this is semi-final day with all the crews competing here this afternoon with their last and their only chance to get themselves into the A final and keep their medal hopes alive. So here we are. You can see a bit of the backdrop we've been enjoying here on the lake, on Lake Galve, right next to Trakai Castle. as we are here on the course. It's a packed program this afternoon here, but conditions are perfect in every way. 22 degrees, sunny conditions, and a slight tailwind here out on the course. And of course, don't forget to put any sunscreen on, because the sun is quite strong at the moment. So hydrate and put some protection on if you're listening into this wherever you are. That's always great advice. You can see here Lake Trakai in its all glory. Could you tell something about Eva? Could you tell something about the lake and the castle, perhaps?
Yeah, for sure. I spent a lot of time here. So this is the main venue where the whole national team trains. So basically, since probably I started rowing, maybe from 2011 when I was a junior, I started rowing a women's double, and then with Milda Valčiukaitė that I spent quite a lot of time together. We trained here the whole time until last year. And yeah, I spent here my whole summer. And it's tricky because it's so beautiful, but the conditions here are quite tricky. And especially the middle 1,000 is often crosswind and big waves. So it's a beautiful place to row, but also difficult. So people who don't like big waves, they probably don't like this place that much because it's quite open in the middle. But it's so amazing and it's so beautiful. So I think it's one of the most amazing places to row. And I think today is an amazing day because it shouldn't be very windy, and I hope it won't be, so all the rowers will have really good time here.
Yeah, I think you're perfectly right. Conditions here today are looking quite well, and we are getting ourselves ready for the first semi-final of the day. We start with two semi-finals. The first semi-final of the under-19 women's pair. We discussed this previously. The pair always a difficult boat to race, but we have Hong Kong, China, Germany, France, Uzbekistan, Canada, and Austria racing here. Any crew to you, for you, Eva, which stands out from this pack?
I think it's Uzbekistan. As I saw the results, they looked really fast at the heats. So we'll see how they will look at the semi-final. You know, every race is different, so it's hard to tell. But I think Uzbekistan should do well. And and probably France as well. They look.
Yeah, here we have the crew from Hong Kong, China, Yo-Yo Xi and Hoi Ying Lam in the stroke seat. Right next to them we have Germany, Emma Bartelmes and Mia Tetiva with the caps back. Here the crew from France, silver medalist in Crucifica earlier this season, Cassandra Pividori and Manon Ayelabat. And right then, beside them, the crew from Uzbekistan, Saturova and Smetuleva. The best of Canada here with Sinia de la Siega and Novella Rushman in the stroke seat on the right-hand side of your picture. And last but not least, Clara Bernhardt and Esther Schubel from Austria. Bronze medalist in Crucifica and also part of the under-19 women's 8, which raced in St. Catharines last year. As you can see here on the starts, all these crews sort of readying themselves. It is just 30 seconds to go before we are due to depart, but not all the crews lining up perfectly at this stage.
Yeah, it's especially here, if it's a crosswind, it's really difficult to line up, but today is quite good conditions. But when we racing in Lithuania during the summer, sometimes it's so difficult to get to the start line because it can get really windy. But today they are quite lucky.
Very lucky, and there goes the buzzer. The green light is on. A nice even start by all the crews, getting their boat on speed as quickly as they can as we ride here with the crew from Austria. A nice long, lengthy rhythm there being set by the crew in lane number 6. But already we're just a couple of, well, we're not even 100 meters out just yet, and Canada just shooting out of the blocks.
Yeah, for the juniors, I think I looked yesterday the results when I was a junior, and I remember when we won a World Junior Championship in 2012 with my doubles partner in Plovdiv. So I remember until the 1,500 meters, the whole three crews were in the same second, and you didn't know which one will win. But then I have no idea how, but we were so fast in the last 500 meters that we won by 5 seconds in the last 500 meters. So it's not over until it's over. So I think it's hard to say which one is really fast from the beginning because you have to wait. The 2,000 meters, it's a quite long distance.
Yeah, it's quite a long distance, and we tend to see some of these crews going out really fast just to make, well, perhaps rattle the other competitors with a very strong start, and that might shake the beliefs of the other crews to get into the A final. And so far, it is that Canadian pair of Rushman and De La Siga who is doing quite well. We're approaching 500 meters gone, so that's going by really rapidly. And moving with them is the crew from Austria, the Austrian pair, and then in lane number 2, the crew from Germany, also doing quite well. And here we are at 500. Clear leaders, Canada, then it's Germany, Austria, France, Uzbekistan, and then there's a little bit of a gap all back to Hong Kong, China. And so you've done the first 500 meters, Eva, and you're sort of settling into your rhythm. What is going through your mind as an athlete racing here on the lake?
What I can tell, in a pair, compared with other boat classes, it's different. It's, I would say the stroke is not that heavy, especially if there is a tailwind, you have to just move together, and it's like, it's different feeling. I don't know how to explain, but last year when we were racing in a pair here during the Lithuanian Amber Horse Regatta, me and Camila, it was our first race during the season together because she was studying in the United States and she came back, and we found such a good feeling and rhythm. So we rode 2K and our time was 5:56. So then and it wasn't even difficult or hard to row, so we were thinking that if we can find good rhythm, the pair can go really fast. So it's a really interesting boat class to row. You just have to make every movement together because each of the athlete has one oar, so they have to put the oars together and take them off together.
Yeah, that makes it so difficult because you've just got one oar each, and balancing a pair is considered one of the most difficult things to do in
But you
rowing.
know, for this one, I wouldn't say I would say single scull is more difficult to row than a woman's pair. I felt so much better in a pair, more stable, and than in a single, especially on the crosswind. Because when I was rowing last year, I couldn't wait when I will be in a pair because I felt like it's so much more stable and bigger boat, especially rowing in like difficult conditions. So I don't know why people are saying that it's so difficult to row, but I would disagree a little bit with
All right,
this one.
that's fair enough. The single is also quite a tricky boat to row. As we ride here with lanes 4 and 5, so it's Canada on the right-hand side, but here we ride with the crew from Uzbekistan, Saturova and Smetuleva. That is a crew which was very quick in the earlier rounds of this tournament, and you can see why. Lovely connection here at the front end of the stroke. That crew from Uzbekistan at 38 strokes a minute, so that's quite high for a pair, but they make it work, and they are one of the quickest boat, if not the quickest boat out on the water in this third 500. Canada dropping back slightly, I'd say, and Germany maintaining a third position as we ride here with the Canadians. So we have De La Siga and Rushman here in full view. A nice connection there on the front end, and a little look there from Kiana to her right to see where the Uzbekistani pair was, and they're actually quite close, but the Uzbekistanis are moving out to almost a full length. You can see from the picture here on the far side, France is coming back into the race alongside Germany, and it was just outside of the picture, but you could see the crew from Austria also still in the mix for one of those spots in the A final tomorrow.
Yeah, they have still 600 meters to go, and for me personally 500 meters left in Trakai is when I start to sprint, because if it's windy And then the last 500 meters is the calmest place. And then, because there are some islands, so you have to start there. It's like a good marker where to start to sprint. So, and yeah, Uzbekistan looks really good, even if their stroke rate is similar to other boats, but they look so much calmer. Like the rhythm is really nice.
Yeah, nice rhythm there being set as we concentrate on the Canadians and the crew from Austria. Still everything to play for. This is the crew from Hong Kong, China. They are trailing clear water from the leading crews as they come in towards the grandstand area. And all these athletes will hear the shouting and all the encouragement coming from the banks as they come into that sheltered area, which you mentioned. Yeah. You could see immediately on the picture, the water looks so much more calm.
Yeah, it changes drastically.
Yeah,
and you can start to hear everyone, so you get some extra energy from the crowd.
Yeah, you can see here the gap which Uzbekistan has opened up to the crew from Hong Kong, China. It's clear water here, but look at this. 3 crews abreast. We have France, we have Canada, we have Austria. They are in the mix for place in the A final. Germany have dropped back hugely. Where have they gone? But a sprint finish now, and they're coming into the Red Bull area. 250 meters to go, and it's a sprint for the A final.
Yeah, and Canada and Austria is bow to bow. They're in 1 meter, so it's interesting to see who will win.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. I think Uzbekistan have done enough. It's just 50 meters for them left to row. France have come back into this. Cassandra Pifidori taking a look to her left now to see where the Canadians and the Austrians are. She needs to focus, get that barbel across first, but because it's going to be very close. There's nothing separating the crews here down there. Uzbekistan cross line, and a grab from the French is a huge disappointment. That means they will cross the line 4th. A crab from the bow woman there, and that is such a hard break in the final few strokes. That was all it took. So we see here the winners of the first semi-final from Uzbekistan. I think Canada got 2nd place here. Yeah, indeed they did. Almost 4 seconds back in Uzbekistan, but they qualify for the A final. And then Austria, Schubel and Bernhard qualify for the A final as well. As you can see, the heartbreak of missing out on the A final. I really feel for her. They were so close.
That's so sad. I can understand how they're feeling. And I think they were silver medals. France, they were silver medals at junior championship.
European, yeah, they were. They got the silver medal in Krušvika.
Yeah, so I think they have really high expectations. But as I said before, it's not over until it's over.
Yeah, it's a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
We go here to the next A final. We have Lithuania in lane 2. And right beside Lithuania, we have Amber Potgieter and Anouk van der Breggen from South Africa. And here are the reigning European champions, Leachi and Vasilika. Next to them, Italy, and they're ready off the start. We'll just give a quick introduction. Nakard and Carriero and Nungard and Bosnes from Denmark complete the field as all these crews are off. And a quick start by Lithuania, I think, here in lane number 2. And already their barbel in front. Great start from them. Great first couple of strokes. And now they have to settle into that rhythm, having gotten almost, half a length lead over the Romanians and the Italians out of the start. Impressive stuff.
Yeah, it's a really good start, but I think for this one, I would say Romanians should be quite clear leaders, but you never know for sure. But I really hope Lithuanians will do well. They finished 6th at European Championships, Junior Championships, so I think they have a lot of motivation, especially racing at the home crowd, so I hope they will do really well.
Yeah, me too. And I think they have been training here out on the lake in preparation for this event after that 6th place at the Europeans in Krušvika earlier. They're quite young athletes, the Lithuanian pair.
Yeah, they are 16 and they are coached by the same coach as I was when I started rowing. So it's nice to see how so many years ago, like so many years, and the coach is still having really good athletes. And yeah, they have, I think, 2 more years at juniors. Or
Yeah, indeed they do. And maybe their Olympic journey starts in full form here at the Under-19 World Championship as we ride with the crew from South Africa, Amber Potgieter and Anouk van den Breggen. You'll excuse my Dutch pronunciation of those 2 surnames, but I'm sure the athletes and their schoolmates from St. Andrew's School for Girls and St. Stephen's College are watching all the way back from South Africa. That's the crew being, well, 4th placed at the moment. We're already past the first timing mark, so I'll just give you a quick update on the order. Romania were first across that first timing mark. Here are the crew from the People's Republic of China, who are racing in lane number 1. They are currently 6th at the order, but Lithuania still 2nd position at the moment. Italy 3rd, South Africa 4th, and then Denmark sandwiched in between them 5th at the moment. As you can see here from the drone picture, in this second 500, the gap's opening up, and the European champions from Romania doing what we expected them to do, which is open up that lead and establish themselves firmly at the front of the race.
and it feels like the wind just picked up. So, but I'm not sure, is it tailwind or is it crosswind more? But yeah, you can see if you look to the course, last 500 meters look so calm, and the middle is a bit windy, but not big waves, so they should be fine, because I imagine as I rode in the pier, it was quite difficult to steer if it's crosswind, so I imagine it should be difficult for them as well. But now they look really good, and Lithuanians, they're still holding on that 2nd position. So.
Yeah, it's a great race so far, and I would expect the South African combination of Potgieter and Van den Breggen to be closer to the front of the race. They were winners in their heat earlier this week, but the Italians have now taken 3rd out of the hands of the South Africans as we concentrate on the front runners from Romania. They are about to cross into the second half of their race, and look at that clear water margin ahead of the Lithuanians, still second, then Italy, just half a length separating Lithuania and Italy, and then it's clear water to South Africa and precious little between Denmark and the crew from the People's Republic of China. But I think those 2 crews haven't got the speed to contest for the placings in the A final. The only big question is, at the moment, will South Africa produce a fantastic second half and get themselves back into the mix?
I'm wondering how it differs from, because Romanians and Italians, they're really well known at senior level as the good sprinters. They have amazing class 500s. So I'm wondering how it differs from the junior levels. Are they doing the same as seniors, or they are doing something different? So we will see at the finish line.
Yeah, so far so good, and you can see on the little graphic here that the Romanians are tied for speed with Lithuania at the moment. Lithuania looking good, but I have to say I'm impressed by that crew from Romania. They look really solid, a nice rhythm there being set by Denisa Vasilica in the stroke seat as we look at the backs of the crew from Lithuania.
And the stroke rates are not that high as the semi-final before. They're racing now at 34 compared. The semi-final before was 37, 38. So.
Yeah, and I think they've made a bit of a move. I think they have gone for a little push there, the Lithuanians, because they have separated themselves once again from the Italians, and it's almost clear water between Lithuania and the Italians as we look here at Romania, still looking so comfortable out in front. Nice long connection at the front end of the stroke as they come into the final 500 meters of this race, and they are flowing so nicely. The rhythm is really smooth. They take their time to lock the blades at the front end of the stroke and then sort of lever it past. They make it look so easy, the Romanians, and they've opened up almost 4 seconds. Quite similar to the crew from Uzbekistan we saw in the previous semi-final. Dominant performance by the Romanians, but Lithuania still in that second position as we look here at the crew from South Africa, who have a little bit of work to do to get into the A final.
It seems like Lithuanians are going up in the stroke rate, and I hope it will help for them. I wish I could give them some extra energy when I look to them. I really want them to do really well.
Yeah, I think at the moment, I mean, they can see the Italians if they take a look to the left, the Lithuanian pair. They know it's a clear water margin, and
But you know, when you're rowing, it doesn't look that far away. It always seems like anything can happen, and you can feel really calm in the last 300 because everyone starts to sprint and they are coming so quickly. So you can make sure you are not feeling really safe.
Yeah, and I think the Romanians is a crew that is safe with just 150 meters to go, as we see the Lithuanian combination here. Great rhythm there, and they actually getting closer to the leading crew from Romania. But Italy is fading just outside of the picture. The Italians are struggling. Card and Carriero are struggling, and that is a great motivation for the crew from South Africa of Potgieter and Van den Breggen, who may get into third at the moment. It's going down to the wire. Romania have done enough, just a few more strokes for them to go straight to the A final. Fantastic performance by the Lithuanian pair. They will join Romania, and it will be, or it's going to be close, but I think South Africa have done enough to get into the A final.
I'm so happy for the Lithuanians. So that's our first A final junior. So it's so amazing.
Yeah, fantastic performance, and what a great race. They were not shaken by the Italians, who put on a great showing in that middle kilometer.
Yeah.
But the Romanians here, as you can see on the big screen, well, you can see that it took something out of them. It was not an easy race, but you can see the joy here of making the A final.
I can imagine how they're feeling, because the semi-final is such a stressful thing. It's you either make it or not, and you either have a chance to get a medal or not. So it's really stressful, but I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, in a way, you have everything to lose but nothing to gain, because getting into the A final is just that next step, and the A final is where the medals will be handed. As we see the crew from South Africa's fantastic second half of their race, sees them moving past Italy across the line. Just to give you a quick, and then it was Denmark. No, it was actually the People's Republic of China, 2 seconds ahead of Denmark. As you can see here, the official confirmation, and that yellow line denoting the A and the B final. So we'll see Italy, Denmark, and the People's Republic of China in the B final tomorrow morning. Next race out on the course, they are coming down thick and fast, is the same boat class, but for the men we move to the under-19 men's pair. And of course, all these athletes also having raced earlier this week with the heats on Thursday, semi-finals today and the final tomorrow. Here they are. The first semi-final, it is Spain, Hungary, Great Britain, Serbia, Australia and Greece. As you can see, those beauty pictures from Trakai Castle. And here are the 6 crews. And they are ready under starters orders. And there is the buzzer, a very quick stroke here by the crew from Spain, really slapping in that oar and trying to get that pair off the line as quickly as they come, as we ride here with Patrick Wild and Alp Karadogan in the stroke seat, the tall strokesman here from Great Britain. As you can see, a little bit of steering correction here by the young crew from Great Britain as they get their boat straight and true in the line. And here they are. We're a minute into this first semi-final, and if I'm not mistaken, it is the crew from Great Britain leading the dance at the moment.
Yes, they are. Yeah. And how it looks so more sharp than women's pair rowing, so it's quite a different rowing.
Yeah, it's slightly different. I would say the rhythm and the sort of the aggressiveness from the men's is that slightly different. As we come to the first timing mark, Great Britain lead Australia. That's the 1-2. And third across the line is the crew from Serbia. And of course, if you're new to rowing, just to give you a little bit of information, from the heats, all these crews are being drawn into certain lanes. So you'll find the quicker boats from the heats in the center lanes. So in this case, Serbia and the crew from Great Britain were the fastest to qualify for this semi-final, as you can see here from above. And then the second quickest boats are in lanes 2 and 5. So that's Australia Serbia and Hungary in this semi-final, and then the relative slowest qualifiers, Spain and Greece, are on the outside lanes. So we can see here from the top, we're in the second 500. The Australians keeping the Brits very honest through this second 500, and the young crew from Greece, a finalist in the under-23 World Championships in Poznan just 2 weeks ago. They're currently in third position, and they were on the bottom side of your picture here. As you can see, the crew from Hungary in lane number in fifth position at the moment. You can see how close the racing is. That's Hungary on the right-hand side and Spain on the left, with Carvalho, Maribieta and Paleomino Gruncea. And they are on the top of the picture here, as we already at 1,000 meters, and it's the UK versus Australia across 1,000 as they go.
Yeah, and I see that Bausit from the Great Britain, he's already a gold medalist, just in a different boat class from the last year. He was racing in an 8. So yeah, he has already some good titles.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm wondering how different for him to feels to row in a pier compared with the 8, because I feel like if you row a big boat class, then you gain some speed, and then you can make also a small boat class go faster.
yeah, I think that's true. I think racing in an 8 is, in terms of feel, completely different than the smaller events, but it allows you to get your technique just that little bit sharper. And there are high hopes for this pair from Great Britain, of Alpe Caradogan and Patrick Wild. Both these athletes from St. Paul's in London, and having raced together this season, they know each other so well. And from a technical point of view, they are looking absolutely picture perfect. Coached by Bobby Thatcher, who is of course also connected to St. Paul's. We don't see him coaching at the under-19s that often, so that may give you an indication on how confident Great Britain is in this pair. But in the thick of the in the thick of the action in this third quarter, you actually see the combination of Australia with Jack Hansen, Knanhoy and Lachlan Brown in the stroke seat, actually leading Great Britain, and they're really flying towards the 1500. And a slightly different style from the Australians here, racing in the green and gold, but they've opened up to almost a full length.
They have only 500 meters left, and I think the first 3 crews are quite clear, but you never know what Serbians can do. They can gain 3 seconds in last 500 meters, so everything is possible.
Yeah, it's not done just yet, and as you mentioned earlier, Eva, it's not over until it's over. But I am impressed by the push from the guys from Australia. Of course, these two have known each other for quite a while. They've rowed together as a pair with from the Fremantle and West Australia rowing clubs. They're an established pair in Australia, and it's great to see them here performing at their very best at the under-19s here on the world stage. And you can see the length they are getting. It's a lovely rhythm there, and they're putting more distance in Great Britain as we come closer to the Red Boys, and I think they're already inside the last 250 meters, so that's going to be a bit of an upset for the boys from Great Britain. But here are the green and gold of Australia, looking absolutely perfect.
I saw Serbians had some steering issues, so I think it will be difficult for them. And yeah, Hungary now shows the fastest speed.
Yeah.
Wondering how fast they can go.
Yeah, they have still quite a long while to go, but here they are in the final 50 meters. It is going to be Australia who will take the win here in the first semi-final. Great Britain will be disappointed to get second, but just outside of the picture, but in full view of our commentary position. A great sprint by the Greek pair, and they take it across the line into the A final, just ahead of Hungary, ahead of Serbia, and then it will be Spain across the line. And joy all around there for Burkas and Chatsaigovidis from Greece, who will take that last spot into the A final. And disappointment for the pair from Serbia, who had high hopes coming into this semi-final from that very quick heat earlier this week. But It is now time for these crews to recover as quickly as they can. You can see the Greeks already going towards the cool-down area. If the lake here in Trakai, you have the warming up area on one side and then the cooling down is somewhere else.
Yeah, cooling down is actually a nice place because you can see the castle. You go closer to the castle. And there are a lot of tourists, but now because we have good markers for the cool down, so there won't be any crash. But as you can see, there are a lot of tourist boats, so sometimes it's difficult. But during the competition, it should be fine. But normally, when we are training, we don't go there, especially on weekends, because there are so many people there. So you have to watch out because people are, especially during the summertime, on holidays, they're swimming, they're going with the boats. So it's a difficult place to go there.
Yeah, but it's well marked, and here is the next race. You could just see the German crew of Reinhold and Vloerter. As you can see, the South Africans here with Kyriazis and Jasson. And last but not least, Australia, and just outside the picture we saw Canada, Italy and Turkey. As you can see, the full lineup here with the Canadians in lane 1 closest to the camera picture. And here the very fast shades of the crew, I think that is the crew from Germany. You can see Enzio Vloerter there closest to you, and behind him Leander Reinhold, two 17-year-olds coached by Yannick Brugh. As we wait to start, and a long start. These crews all poised to get those first few strokes out of their system as quickly as they can. A nice start, nice even start, and we'll look towards the center lanes here. As you can see, the Germans here, nice long connection and a small steering correction happening as we speak. But a fast start by Canada, Turkey, Italy as well, and then there's a little bit of a gap to Austria, Germany also in the mix, South Africa in lane number 5. So that's the second crew from the left-hand side of this picture, currently trailing, but still within contact of the leading crews. But a very, very, very rapid start by the crew from Italy.
Italians are known as good starters and finishers.
Yes, yes, indeed they are.
I'm wondering what secret they have so they can keep such a high rate the whole time.
Yeah, I think they just train. I think it's become their mantra. So for Italian small boats, it's very rare to see them go sub 36 strokes a minute.
Yeah.
It's usually higher than that. And that is true for the entire Italian Rowing Federation. And at the moment, the Italians outside of the picture, but they're at 39 strokes a minute, whereas the Germans, who you saw previously, at 35. So that's quite a bit lower. But you can see the damage the Italians have done in the first, well, nearly 500 meters. They're already pushing to a clear length lead ahead of the crew from Turkey as we ride with the Canadians here with the maple leaf on the blade. And that is a special thing for all the Canadian rowing athletes, because only at World Championships are they allowed to row with that maple leaf on the blade. And it's a special ceremony, the maple leaf ceremony, which is a very special moment for the young Canadian athletes.
Oh, I didn't know that, so it's a really interesting fact.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, so the Canadians, well, starting to feel a little bit of the strain. The Italians now settling into their race pace rhythm at 38 strokes a minute. So I'm always love to see that. But coming back into this, it is the crew from Turkey with Kilic and Yüce. They are doing quite well. They're currently second place at the moment, and Germany, not the quickest crew out of the blocks, but they have moved into third position at the moment, slightly ahead of the crew from Austria on the left-hand side of your picture here. So we've got these lovely overhead shots from the drone. You can see the Italian crew leading, but you can also see that Turkish bow ball just below the Italians, coming closer to them. Here we are, we ride with the German combination, the two 17-year-olds. They are looking smooth and calm. And the Austrians also high up in the rate. The combination of Kyriazis and Jasson, Matthew Jasson in the stroke seat. They rowed in the Coxed 4 in St. Catherine's last year. and they are going for it. In the bow seat, Warwick Wara Kiriasic, as he is known, he's captain of the St. Albans College Rowing Club. And he'll be looking to get into the A final too. But there's just 1,000 meters to go.
Yeah, it's over halfway already. And yeah, Canadians are in 6th place now, so it seems like the first 3 leaders are getting some gap between, but the 4th and 5th, and they're not that far away.
Yeah, and a great push. Look at the crew from Turkey. They're level with the Italians, as the Italians, I think, are starting to struggle a bit. They're at 36 strokes a minute, which is basically bottom line for the Italians. But I think the Italians just went out very bravely in the first kilometer, and they are paying the price here in this third quarter, with the crew from Turkey absolutely flying through them. You can see the speed. The Italians, the only crew under 17 kilometers an hour, and they are really starting to feel the hurt now as Germany also moves up into the mix. The Italians might have done just enough to clinch a third at the line, but we're 700 meters out, so it's a long way for Novak Mitrovic and Pietro Balcich to keep that third place, because the crew from Austria is lurking in 4th position at the moment, trying to get into that A final too.
Yeah, I feel like Italians having a bit hard time, because it seems like their speed is so much slower than other boats, and they still have 700 meters left, so I'm wondering if they still have some energy in them.
Yeah, I hope so, because there's a long way to go, and if you hit the wall, as the Italians look to me like they have, it is going to be a very tough final, minute and 40 seconds in that final quarter. Turkey are moving through quite convincingly here at the three-quarter stage. Germany moving with them in 2nd. Italy still cling on to 3rd, but I'm not sure if the crew from Austria know that they are in a position to get into the A final, with the Italians fading so badly. And here, look at the blade work of that pair from Turkey. Absolute perfection. I just love the way how they simultaneously get that water, hold it tight, and then leave at the boat pass. And they're the quickest boat out on the water. Germany also pushing on though. And here on the bottom of the picture, you can see the crew from Austria trying to get closer to the Italians, and there is overlap between those two crews.
They have 12 meters behind the Italians, and their stroke rate is going up, so we'll see what Italians do. And yeah, Turkey, they look so sharp, and their stroke rate is not even the highest, but they look really nice.
Yeah, they are really efficient, and the Austrians 4th placed in the European Championships in Krušvica earlier this season. You could see that little look of worry from Pietro Balcich just now, and he'll be looking at the crew from Austria, no doubt, having seen them coming. And here they go again. They take it up through the reins, but the wind in this semi-final will go to Turkey. Fantastic measured performance by them. They crossed the line, going with them, Germany and Italy. In the end, they did enough, more than enough for the place in the A final. Austria get across the line 4th, just ahead of Canada and South Africa, who cross in 5th and 6th. So we have 3 A finalists from this semi-final to join the other crews we saw earlier, and here are the winners, and job done for them. Next race, A final tomorrow.
And I noticed that in the last 200 meters, crews are starting to get some steering problems, because it's a pier, and probably one puts the blade in faster than the other, and they still need some probably more experience, because compared with the senior levels, they are going quite straight, and then juniors, they like to go out of the lane a little bit. So it's difficult if you hit the buoy, so you can catch a crab, and I hate that feeling.
Yeah, and so far we haven't seen crews actually hitting the buoys, although I think that French women's pair may have actually touched a buoy in the final 2 or 3 strokes.
And Austrians, I just saw them in the last 50 meters. They were almost hitting the buoys.
Yeah, it goes. So we move to the next semi-final, the next event, next boat class. We go to the under-19 women's 4. We have the People's Republic of China closest to you here, racing in lane number 1. That's a whole new crew making their international debut here earlier this week. Next to them, Poland, stroked by Hanna Stalkowska. Here we are with Poland as they ready themselves. On the left-hand side, you can see Hanna. Here is Romania with Jessica Popescu. This crew filled with bronze medalists from Krušvika. Next to them, the United States of America, different crew which we saw race in St. Catherine's last year, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Here's Ireland. And last but definitely not least is the crew from Croatia with the Stern pair racing in the Europeans at Krušvika 2. And a quick start here, nice even start. Quick start by the crew from Poland. They take it up the reins really effectively as we move into that opening rhythm here. As you can see, the crew from Ireland, from the Emerald Isle, plenty of Irish fans line the grandstand area here. And you can see here some of these crews quite close to the buoy lines as they finish their starting procedures, especially the crew from Poland, really close. Second crew from the left-hand side of the picture. You can see all these crews weaving and waving a bit in that first moment as we ride here with the crew from Romania. Is there anything, looking at that Romanian crew, which stands out to you as you watch them race just a second ago?
I'm just looking at steering. It's maybe there is some tail crosswind, so it's a bit difficult for them. But yeah, Romanians, they are, as I was a junior, they are always very well known as good rowers. And since then, I think only from 2016 they got so much better at senior level. But as a juniors, they were also so fast. So if you know Romanian is racing, you have to watch out for them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've been to quite a few under-19 events, and it always strikes me how often we hear the Romanian anthem on finals day. And that crew is definitely still in the mix here as we approach the first timing mark at 500. And, it might be a little bit of a surprise here. I thought the United States of America were way ahead of the rest of the field, but Croatia just 0.2 of a second down on the crew from the United States. Then it's Poland, Romania, Ireland, and the People's Republic of China. That last crew already 5 seconds down, so I'm not sure if they will feature in the rest of the race. But that crew from the USA, plenty of medal experience from last year with 3 under-19 women's 8 gold medals from St. Catherine's in their crew. It's the third crew from the left-hand side of your picture. Again, so close to the buoy line. I would be worried if I was in that crew.
Yeah. I'm wondering who's steering. Is it bow seat or the stroke seat? Because actually the first boat class that I was racing was a 4 as well. But I was sitting in the stroke seat and I wasn't steering. But I think steering from the stroke seat is easier than steering from the bow seat because you can see clearly the buoys. So.
Yeah, when I was racing back in my days, we had the bow seat making the calls and the stroke seat actually manipulating his rudder. And there's a little on the footplate of one of these athletes. There's a shoe which is connected to a steel wire, which allows you to move a tiny rudder, which is in the stern of the crew to adjust your course and make sure you keep straight and true in your lane. As we ride into this second 500, and we're getting close to halfway, where we see that American crew looking really calm. Nice flowy rhythm there. The boat is really nice and flat. It's not stopping and going. It's just a nice even rhythm, and that propels the Americans forward 1 3/4 of a second of a lead as the Romanians now come back into this after that little bit of a steering wobble earlier in this race. They've moved into second position ahead of Croatia and Poland. Poland actually, who were second at 500, now feeling the strain a bit. The Croatians looking great and going with them. The Irish still sandwiched in between them as they come into the picture here with the green vests, and they look really to be going for it. The Irish at 38 strokes a minute really pushing down the watts. As you can see here, this wonderful venue here as the camera pans towards Trakai, the village here right on the lake. As we can see here, the Americans looking cool and calm. The USA at 37 strokes a minute. That looks great there. The rhythm set by Claire van Praag in the stroke seat, bringing all her experience and provide a lovely rhythm. You can see a little bit of a ripple out on the water as they are in that middle bit of the race. And here, this is where you sort of put your foot down and accelerate to make sure you're in a great position come the last 500 meters.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking about Americans. I think they have really strong base, or I don't know how to call it, because most of them are rowing either fours or eights, because then they are going to the universities and they have to row fours and eights. So I think they have really strong boat classes, fours and eights, and that's why probably they are rowing so well.
Yeah, there's a strong system, and well, of course, these are under 19 athletes. But 2 weeks ago in Poznan, it was all about the American collegiate system, which does so much for international rowing.
Yeah, because in Lithuania we don't have. Four is not that, like I would say, popular boat class because we don't have that many junior girls, and we are not rowing for universities in a boat class like fours and eights. We more row like singles and doubles, so we don't have that such a strong base. But yeah, I was studying in the States and I knew that they have really good fours and eights.
Yeah, it's a great system here as we ride with the Americans, who I think were feeling a little bit of pressure from the Romanians. Those two crews absolutely class of the field. They moved out to clear water ahead of Ireland outside of the picture, but the Irish have moved into third and last qualifying position for the A final ahead of the Croatians, who were in that position a few hundred meters ago. But the Americans look strong. They're at 41 strokes a minute, really putting the hammer down here, wanting that first position and the best lane for tomorrow's A final. But a late surge from the Romanians might take them on the line. The Romanians also at 40 strokes a minute, but well, it's going to be close. The Romanians are slightly quicker at the moment, but I think the US have done just about enough to maintain that first position as they come across the line. It's 3/4 of a length to the USA, back to Romania, and behind them the Irish. The Irish are pushing on, and they may. Ooh, it's going to be close with Poland. Ooh,
that's so close. You can't even. I think.
I won't call that just yet, but it was dead level across the line for that last.
That's the most interesting race to watch, man. It goes bow to bow because you don't know which one will win.
Yeah, and Poland, who were present in the race at the first half, then faded slightly and then produced a phenomenal final 500. And still, we have to wait for confirmation. But it was the Polish crew.
Oh.
Unofficially just yet, we'll have to confirm, but I think Poland got it just ahead of Ireland, who are, in fourth position then. And then fifth across the line was Croatia, and then the People's Republic of China completing the field. But yeah, just 2 tenths separating the A and the B final.
And you never know what can happen tomorrow in the final. Maybe Polish will be even faster tomorrow, so...
Yeah, I was, to be honest, I was a bit surprised because I thought the crew from Poland were over and done with. As we come towards the next semi-final. Again, it's women's 4. You can see that little graphic of the boat here. 4 athletes, 4 oars, and 6 crews competing. You can see here the lake, and some of the tourists are actually enjoying their summer holidays. And here the American athletes who are going to their cool-down pedal, and another cool-down pedal in the back shot here.
The tourists, that they think it's easier for them to paddle than for the rowers.
Yeah, as the next semi-final, France, Austria, Great Britain, Italy, Germany and Spain are 2,000 meters away. And they are readying themselves here. And here they are. You can see the crew from France, the closest to the picture. And if this is these are the Italians in lane 4. You can see the close-up of Letizia Marotana here. The crew's already at attention and already off. So a very quick start here. We expect the center lanes to do well and keep a close eye on the crew from Great Britain, struck by Emilia Westbrook, as we ride with the Azzurri from Italy here in lane number 4. Also one of those favored center lanes for the quickest qualifiers for this semi-final. So we're 150 meters in, and a slight surprise to see Germany crew with not a lot of international experience actually leading. They're outside of the picture here because the camera operator concentrates on the crew from Great Britain, who are second at the moment. But the Germans, second crew from the left-hand side of your picture here, moving out really well here with the Italian rigging. So that's the stroke seat on stroke side, and that's 2 bow side oars, and then the bow seat also on stroke side to make it more complicated. But those 2 crews, Germany and Great Britain, featuring at the front of this race, but behind them it's a really tight packed field with Austria, France, Italy and Spain on the left-hand pick. I think Spain are struggling a bit in this second 500, or about to go into the second 500 here, as we see Italy and Great Britain.
And Great Britain, they rode juniors 8 and they won a silver medal, so I think they know each other really well.
Yeah, it's the 2 athletes, Sophie Heisman and Emilia Westbrook, who raced in St. Catherine's last year. You're perfectly right, in the 8, moving to a smaller boat class here. Great Britain currently second at the moment because that crew from Germany is still up there. And the crew from Germany, a young crew and a relatively untested crew at world rowing level. But Gesa Junge in the 2 seat, she's actually a coastal rower as well, having competed at junior level at coastals earlier. And she'll be taking that experience right into flat water racing. As you can see, the 2 crews from France and Austria. You can see the crew from Austria also in that bucket rig, as is the crew from France. You can see a slight difference here in the way they are racing. The crew from Austria, excuse me, just down 5 meters on the French. Those 2 are sort of locked in their own battle here. But you can see them here also in that picture, and now there are 3 crews getting sort of separating themselves, and that is Germany, Great Britain and Italy, and then it's clear water to Spain, France and Austria at the moment. You can see here the Italians in the sort of sandwiched in between them. The Italians, of course, European champions, and plenty of medals in that Italian crew, with gold medal experience in the stern of that boat from last year in the Coxed 4. And Italy really moving on well here. They've moved into second position, and Great Britain being pushed into third.
They seem to be really close to each other. First 3 crews for sure in less than 1 second. But I think 4 seconds is not that a huge gap that you couldn't make it. So we will see how it will go.
Yeah, we're halfway into this race, the second semi-final of the women's 4, and you can see the Italians having a little look to their left and right. Letizia in that stroke seat, actually looking towards the crew from Great Britain and Germany, and it's Italy now in the lead by half a canvas at the moment. And they'll be moving. I think Great Britain is moving with them ahead of Germany. So it's basically bow ball to bow ball between Great Britain and Germany at the moment. But they're opening up a bigger gap to Spain, France and Austria every single stroke, as you can see here.
But the Spain still keeping quite high speed and stroke rate. So it's 6 beats higher than the Germany crew. So
yes,
that's quite different.
Yeah, it's quite a different race strategy. I think the crew from Spain at 40 strokes a minute And normally you would be at 40 strokes a minute when you're sprinting towards the line or out of the start. But for the Spanish crew, that is their racing rhythm at the moment. As we come to 1,500 meters, I think Italy done really well here in this third quarter to get their bow ball ahead. We just have to wait and how the camera pans. Italy well out in front. I think, yeah, Great Britain moving with them. And Germany, after that very fast start, starting to feel a little bit of the strain now. They're 3 seconds down, but it's clear water down to Spain, France, and the crew from Austria, so it's still everything to play for. And curious to see what the Italians can do in that last 500, if they can open up a bigger gap to Great Britain, because Great Britain, of course, a good crew in their own right, and possibly a medal candidate for the A finals tomorrow. But Italy looks so strong out in front.
And especially in Trakai, because the weather can change so quickly, so probably you want to have the best lane, so it's still important which place you will finish. So I guess Great Britain, they want to take over Italy, but I'm not sure if they have that much left.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Italians are asking all the questions, and so far Great Britain is not able or willing to answer them. Because the Italians push to almost a full-length lead. It's going to be clear water, and look at the speed difference. The Italians really flying into this final 200 meters ahead of Great Britain. Germany also putting their foot down, making sure they get across the line in third. France actually resurgent on the far side. You can see them. It's on the top part of the picture here, but France have, I think, left it just too late to overhaul the Germans, and the Germans still look good and powerful in the last few strokes. But Italy will take the honors here in this semi-final. They cross the line clear water ahead of Great Britain, who will join them in the A final, and then the Germans, the German four, is the last crew to go to the A final. So Italy, Great Britain and Germany will join the USA, Romania and Poland in the A final. It was France who actually overhauled Spain for fourth overall in the semi-final, and then fifth across the line, or sixth across the line, it is the crew from Austria, and we'll see those three crews racing the B final tomorrow. As we saw a quick confirmation of the results, we move to the men's four, first A final. See, the quickest qualifier for this race is Great Britain, and we'll see that crew in a moment. We have 6 crews competing here. As you can see, the sailing boats here, we have the start list summary of the first semi-final. United States of America in lane 1, Italy lane 2, Great Britain in lane 4, Turkey lane 3, Turkey lane 4, then Poland and Serbia in lanes 5 and 6. And you can see the Italian, there's a little globe behind the Italian crew in lane number 2, which means they are defending world champions from St. Catherine's last year. And these are lovely pictures from the start. All these crews already at attention. As you can hear the umpire in the background calling all these crews, making sure they're ready to go. And here they are. Quick start, and we ride with the crew from Great Britain. Elam Hugh in the stroke seat of that crew from Great Britain. He is world champion in the 8 from last year. As you can see, the furious start by the Italians. I just love the Italians out of the blocks.
They look so sharp.
Yeah, they're really flying in with Matteo Trevisan in the stroke seat there, setting a hard to follow, at least for me, a hard to follow 50 strokes a minute here. as they take up their boat to their top speed, and then they try to settle into their rhythm. As you can see from the overside picture here, the USA quite close to the buoy line and the crew from Italy, but those two crews are leading at the moment together with Great Britain, who I think won't be fazed by that fast start from the Italians. Everybody knows what the Italians can do out of the start, but those three crews trying to separate themselves early ahead of Turkey, Poland and Serbia on the left-hand side of the picture. You can see just how close the crew from on the right-hand side from the USA. They're actually outside their lane for a moment, and now they have to make a quick steering correction to make sure they not bump into the crew from Italy, the second crew from the right. Great Britain, to me, they're straight and true in their line. In their lane, and it is those two crews, Italy and Great Britain, who are at the 500-meter mark first. Sub 1:30 opening for Italy, Great Britain, USA. Then 2 seconds, 2.3 seconds actually, back to Turkey, Poland and Serbia, who is nearly 4 seconds adrift at the first timing mark. But a great start by the two crews, Italy and the crew from Great Britain.
At the finish line, it looks like really nice tailwind, so the time should be fast.
Yeah, I think you're right. Here in that final, that sheltered area, in the last 500, there's a bit of a tailwind. But we are sort of in that second 500, and to me it looks like a little bit of a crosswind, which may explain.
It's in the middle. It's as always typical Trakai. It's either crosswind or cross tail or cross headwind. But you just have to go through the middle, and the last 500s will be really nice place to sprint. So because it's so shallow that all the islands you don't get that much crosswind, so it's a good place for the finish.
Yeah, as we ride with the crew from Poland, we have Oskar Weber in the bow seat there, and that Polish crew has quite a lot of work to do, because at the front of the race, the crew from Great Britain is actually now half a length ahead of the crew from Italy, and it's great to see those two crews going absolutely toe-to-toe. The crew from Great Britain combining athletes from Abingdon, Shiplake and St. Edwards in this four, being stroked by Elam Hughes from, I think is from St. Edwards, but I might be wrong on that. But that crew is at a steady 36 strokes a minute, whereas the Italians are still at 40 strokes. But those two crews clear water ahead of the USA, and the USA need to be very careful about the crew from Turkey, who look good to me. You just saw them going through the picture just a few seconds ago. But the crew from Turkey, of course, one of the quicker crews to qualify for this semi-final. And you can see here how close it is between the USA and the crew from Turkey.
And their speed is quite similar.
Yeah, and at times, I'd say the crew from Turkey is slightly quicker even than the crew from the United States, with John Piersma in the stroke seat. So they're two 17-year-olds from the USA in the stern of that crew, slightly younger than Heaton and Dolce in the bow seats. But Turkey, well, not really making a big... Here they are, it's the crew from Turkey, a lovely... Yeah, they absolutely go for it. It isn't the most pretty rowing we've seen today, but it is effective and they are going fast. We'll see if that pays off in the final quarter. But here are Great Britain, last 500, and they break clear water ahead of Italy, who I think will now reevaluate if they are going for the win here, or they're almost 3 seconds down on Great Britain. They're in a qualifying position, so what do you do now? Do you go for a big sprint and try and overhaul Great Britain, or do you just conserve a little bit of energy? That's also a valid tactic strategy to have in this last part of the race.
Yeah, but you don't know how fast can the other boats can go, so you still have to make sure you're going really well. But I think in the tailwind, it doesn't require that much energy like in the headwind, so you can just keep the boat speed with like a light stroke and faster rate maybe. So.
Yeah, well, I think we have our answer. You can see on the little graphic here, the Italians are 43 strokes a minute, so I don't think they are just lying down and taking second place. I think they're absolutely going for it. I think it's too little too late, though, because Great Britain are still a good length ahead, but the Italians are closing them down really rapidly.
Yeah, and the speed and the stroke rate,
it's a crazy finish by the Italians. The boys from Great Britain will know that they're in a race, but I think they know they've done enough. They're very close to the buoy line, the crew from Great Britain, but they are still in the lead and they will take the win here ahead of Italy. And the Italians, after that, well, absolutely phenomenal sprint, second and a final. The Americans going with them, and despite a valiant effort, Turkey will have to go to the B final together with Poland, who crossed the line fifth, and then sixth, and a little bit of a crab from the crew from Serbia across the line sixth. So we'll see Serbia joining the crews in the B final tomorrow. But what a sprint from the Italians, absolutely phenomenal.
This is exactly the sprint that I expect from Italians, because they're crazy good sprinters. So I'm wondering how much energy that cost for them to sprint that fast, such a high rate. We will see tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. We'll see tomorrow, and I think they know they have that as a weapon in their back pocket tomorrow in the A final. So if they're not really up in the medal positions, they have the fastest sprint by a huge margin. We'll have to look at the times to see what they were able to produce in the final 500. But here's confirmation of the results of that semi-final. It is Great Britain together with Italy and the United States of America going to the A final, and Turkey, Poland and Serbia to the B final. Second semi-final already waiting for us. We have Ireland, Romania, Australia, Germany, France and Uzbekistan. Those 6 crews. The Australian crew is, I think, the one to watch. We'll talk more about them later. But surprise, or at least a surprise to me, was that crew from Germany. A very new crew who made their debut here on the world rowing level. And here we are. We have the Irish, 4th place in Kruiswijk earlier this season. Daniel Crozier in the stroke seat on the right-hand side of the picture. Right beside the Irish, we have the Romanians with Andai Perdai in the stroke seat with his cap back to front. Here are the crew from Australia's Matthias Moloney in the stroke seat. And here is that crew from Germany, which I talked about just earlier, with Nikolai Gabelens in the bow seat. And here is the crew from France, also a very rapid crew, bronze medal at the Europeans. Love the hairdo from the stroke, Balthazar Mezugi Auguste. And here is Uzbekistan, last but not least, stroked by Ali Haminov. As you can see, the Australians here, laser focused, ready for that first stroke. The first stroke is off. Good start, I think a very even start. I think the Germans slightly ajar in their lane. They quickly correct that. Then here is the crew from Australia. Of course, that Australia has a wonderful tradition in the men's 4 at world and Olympic level, and I'm sure those athletes at senior level are an inspiration to these young athletes here who may not go to the LA Olympic Games, but of course have the Brisbane Olympic Games to look forward to. And their Olympic campaign, we can say in, 7 years' time, may have started here on the lake in Trakai. Quick look at the crew from Uzbekistan, just a canvas down, and Romania, no surprise to see them quick out of the blocks here, lane number 2.
Yeah, Romanians are European junior champions, so I guess they are quite clear, should be quite clear leaders, but you never know. You know, each race is different, weather conditions are different, but Romanians have really strong junior rowers as well as seniors as well. So,
yeah, it's a strong rowing system in Romania, and we expect them to feature. Three of these athletes in the stern, also, of course, European gold medalists in 2024. So they have been around the block quite a lot. You can see them racing here. But here come Germany. Germany looking so well out. I think Germany actually, yeah, indeed, they did put their bow ball across the first timing mark just ahead of Romania and Australia. And that's the 1, 2, 3. With Ireland also in the mix. But the Germans finding a bit of form. Compared to the previous race we saw, where Great Britain opened together with Italy sub 1:30. So this is a slightly slower semi-final in the first 500, but it's still everyone's race as we move into the second 500, where all these crews will look to settle a bit, look for that little bit of efficiency and sort of, yeah, get themselves well and true through this middle 1,000, where you can see the water is a bit more ripply than it is at the start or the finish. I just love the rhythm from the green and gold from Australia. They're in second position, down on the Germans, who are just outside of the picture, but I do love the way that crew from Australia is rowing.
It's really difficult to compare the times because the wind changes so quickly. For example, now the finish line looks so much calmer than it was the race before. So, and as we used to row in Trakai, I could tell from my experience that in 10 minutes the weather can change from the tailwind to headwind sometimes. So it's hard to compare the times. But yeah, today it's not bad for sure. Today is really a nice day, and tomorrow I heard it will be really rainy. So athletes should enjoy every stroke of today's sun.
Yeah, and we just hope the weather stays like this for tomorrow as well, as we saw that wonderful picture from the German crew with Nikolai Gablenz in the stroke seat, and that crew looked so well together from a technical point of view. And you can see that paying off. They passed halfway and they are opening up almost clear water now ahead of the crew from Australia. The Australians starting to feel a bit of, a little bit of the pressure from the crew from France and Romania. Romania and France actually more or less tied for third at the moment, and going with the crew from France in lane 5. You can see it on the bottom side of the picture. You can see the crew from Uzbekistan, which is trying to go with these crews into the qualifying positions. On the far side, you could just see the crew from Ireland. Not completely out of it just yet, with 1,300 meters gone. There's still a chance for the Irish, and they are going for it. Almost 40 strokes a minute by the Irish crew, but they have quite a long way to go, and for one of those qualifying positions, as you can see the Australians just a moment ago.
I think Germany is a big surprise for everyone. They are, as you said, probably the new crew, and they didn't race at European in this combination. So.
Now, and if you look at that German crew, what is the sort of defining trait in their rowing? What stand out to you?
I think they have really nice rhythm, and the boat flow, it doesn't stop. So, and the bodies move together. For me, it looks like really calm and nice.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's the flowiness of that rhythm being set by Jan Lezen in that stroke seat, and it's really efficient. They really allow the boat to do the work for them. They get great sort of length each stroke, as we see the crew from Australia also rowing together very nicely. Razor sharp catches there, but they are in second position, and the French now coming into third position, and that means only one thing, that the Romanians will start their sprint earlier than we expected them to go, because Romania are now outside of the qualifying positions. And just look at the French go. They are quickest boat out. Yeah, they are the quickest boat out on the water, quicker than Germany, quicker than Australia, and they may even challenge for second if the Australians aren't careful.
So the Germans, they have the lowest stroke rate, so I'm wondering how high they can go if they have some room for the higher stroke.
Yeah, I have a feeling we haven't seen the best of the crew from Germany just yet. They're taking it up to from 36 to 37 strokes a minute, but they look so comfortable, so cool, calm and collected. The French really pushing on now, but I think the green and gold from Australia has done just enough, and indeed they have So it's Germany won, Australia take that second qualifying position together with France. Romania will be disappointed with a 4th place, and a fantastic sprint by the Irish sees them crossing the line 5th ahead of Uzbekistan, who absolutely emptied the tank in the final half of this race, but it wasn't enough to get them into the A final, but a valiant effort nonetheless. The Irish stroke completely empty, and a little bit of a celebration here from the French. You can see the stroke of that crew, Balthazar, Mezouhi, Auguste, and here are the French crews delighted with a place in the A final.
And you can see the times are a bit slower than the one before, so I think the wind just calmed down.
Yeah. All right, we move from the bigger boats, from the men's Cox's 4 into the women's quadruple scull. So 4 athletes, 8 oars each. We move from sweeping to sculling. And here is the graphic and the quickest qualifier, Great Britain. We see Great Britain in the next race, but we start here with a crew from Lithuania, Italy, Germany, Czechia, Greece, and the People's Republic of China. And again, you see the Italians with the globe, which means they are defending world champions from St. Catherine's.
And Lithuanians, they are only, 2 of them are only 15 years old, so for sure they are the youngest from this lineup.
Yes, I think we're looking at one of the Glušauskaite?
Glušauskaite, yeah.
Yeah, in the bow seats, the 15-year-olds making their debut. Here is the crew from Germany. We just briefly saw Italy, and an interesting bit of physiotape on Luisa Will in the bow seat of that German crew. Here's the crew from Czechia. Quite a new crew comprised of athletes from the junior under-19 double and quad and the single coming together for this event. Here's Greece, always a crew to watch. I think all the crews from Greece show a great level of mature racing here, even at under 23 and indeed here at under 19 events. As we look at the People's Republic of China, an untested crew who made their debut here earlier this week.
Glušauskaite Emma, she's in number 2. She's really talented, as I heard about her, that she is she should be really good rower because she has a lot of talent.
Yeah, and of course her twin is racing in this boat as well, Goda, and of course in Lithuanian rowing. But I think in rowing in general, we see lots of twins and sisters competing together. And I think it's such a privilege to race at the highest level with your sister or your brother or a family member. And it's great to see them here.
That's funny how me and my brother, we started rowing together. And our first race was in different league, but it was in a mixed four. And we raced together. And then we become more... started rowing at junior and senior level. So in 2017, he won a world champion in men's quadruple scull. And in 2018, I won a world champion in women's double. So we said that we can win at the same time. So we have to separate. So I'm wondering how it works for the other crews.
Yeah, that's great. So, and is that within your family a little bit of pride as well? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So that may happen to these twins as well. We are moving into the second 500 with Lithuania on the far side of this picture here, but going out strong, going out hard is the crew from Czechia. Who are, I think, about to cross into a past 500 first. Going with them, Germany and Greece also in the mix there. Then it's Italy, Lithuania, and then there's a little bit of a gap back to the crew from the People's Republic of China. And here's that crew from Lithuania looking very nicely put together. And racing on home water, that must feel so special, having trained here probably so many times already.
Yeah, they know this course really well. And everything feels so nice for them. It should feel, and the home crowd. We were racing at U23 three championship in Lithuania in 2012, and I loved how it feels being home and the people, and the lanes and the lake. It's amazing to row at your home.
Yeah, it's always a privilege to be selected first for any World Championships or any championships to represent your nation. That's a huge honor, but to do it on home water, that must feel really, really special. And
also, I would say you always feel some pressure because so many people come to watch you.
yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of added pressure as well. I fully understand, and they will feel that pressure, but I think they have an opportunity here to sort of use that and put that into their rowing.
Exactly, I agree.
And racing here in this semi-final, they are still in the mix, but I think that crew from Germany is now, starting to make a little bit of a move. The crew from Czechia was quickest to 500, but the Germans are sort of sneakily walking away. They have half a second now back to Czechia, and then Greece still in third at the moment. And the gap opening up to Lithuania, Italy, and the People's Republic of China. And the crew from Greece, very upright style, not really using any backswing. It's mostly legs and arms. And here is the crew from Italy, and again you see that Italian style, high in the rate, 38 strokes a minute from these Italians, and they look so well put together.
I think in the bigger boat classes you don't need to use a lot of backswing, especially in a quadruple, because it's such a fast boat class, so you have to be really sharp, and any unnecessary movements can make the boat go slower.
Yeah, and especially if you're rowing at a high rate of striking, so if you have to sort of, if you use a lot of backswing, you then have to sort of get yourself back into a good position to prepare yourself for the catch, which may or may not be slowing the boat down. And here we have the two front runners, Czechia retaking the initiative from the Germans. The Germans were half a second up on the crew from Czechia, but they aren't anymore because Czechia have responded and they are trying to get themselves into that first position, coming to 1500. Just outside of the picture here on the left-hand side, that will come into view, is that bow ball from Greece, who looks so powerful out in front. The Greek crew, lots of experience in that crew, but they haven't raced together as a unit. But I think they are developing as a unit as this regatta progresses. So they may not even be in their top shape just yet, and they're just a second and a half from the crew from Czechia, which is impressive to my mind. As you can see, the top three here coming in that calmer water section in between the islands, really making the most of these conditions.
Yeah, it looks such a nice water in the last 500 meters. But I think Lithuanians, they are quite far away to make the A final, but their speed is not that slow. So, and as such a young athletes, they still have so much room for improvement. They are only 15, so I think it will be really good motivation for them to keep going.
Yeah, they have so many years left at the U19s and plenty of opportunity to race here. As you can see, a little bit of the spectators, the athletes will know that they're in the final 250 meters of the race, not just by the red boys, but by the sound that comes from the grandstand with all the families, all the fans cheering them on. Czechia move out even further. Germany still feeling that little bit of a pressure from the crew from Greece, who are, I think, in the qualifying positions. Italy tried to move, but I think they left it just a bit too late. 100 meters, well, less than 100 meters, 50 meters to go. Czechia will take the win here. Great performance. Anna Hoskova in the stroke seat takes her crew across the line. It's almost a full length on the line. And Germany just managed to cling on to second place ahead of Greece. And then it's Italy fourth ahead of Lithuania. And behind Lithuania, the crew from the People's Republic of China cross the line in sixth.
I think it's, I'm proud for Lithuanians because, as I mentioned, they are so young and they weren't that far away as being only 15 years old. So.
Yeah, they were in the mix, and I think only in the third 500 when all the crews, especially Czechia and Germany, were sort of fighting each other. That sort of separated the top three from Lithuania and the crew from Italy as well. Here you can see how much it means. You can see here the crew from Czechia smiles and a little bit of a handshake to celebrate an A final position. As you can see the backdrop here as the wind picks up slightly here at our commentary position. Not really affecting the water too much, but official confirmation here, Czechia, Germany, Greece moving to the A final tomorrow, and we'll see Italy, Lithuania and China in the B final.
As long as there are no white caps, it's perfect conditions to race.
Yeah, and they're nowhere near to be seen,
Yeah.
I think, the white caps. Yeah, where the water I row on is quite close to the sea, so we always have weight. So to me, this is just perfect.
Yeah.
As we get ready for the second semi-final of the women's quad. USA, New Zealand, Great Britain, Poland, Romania and Ukraine. As we get back to the start, to the starting pontoons. See the crew from Poland here, Zuzanna Chaya in the stroke seat, already called to attention. We won't do a lane-by-lane introduction, but here is Great Britain.
I looked at the last names and I'm trying to find if I know anyone from the same last name from the senior level. Maybe it's someone's either sister or brother.
Yeah, of course, Lily Anderson in that Great Britain quad stands out. The bow seat of this crew from Great Britain, with Lola Anderson, of course, the Olympic champion from Paris in the quad, who, well, defeated the crew from the Netherlands on the line in that Paris Olympic final.
Yeah, I saw that race, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's of course a name that sort of rings a few bells as we get going here. We see the crew from Poland. Poland, again, a rowing nation with lots of pedigree in the quads, both in the men's and the women's divisions at senior under 23 levels. We'll see what they are able to produce. Poland, of course, being in lane number 4, so they were a quicker boat to qualify for this semi-final. So you can see them here. That's the crew from Poland, and going right beside them is that crew from Great Britain with Eleanor Lawrence Preston in the stroke seat. As we take a look at the crew from Romania. Romania, of course, always one to watch. And it is Poland, Romania and crew from Ukraine. I feel the crew from Ukraine is a fast starting crew, but not a really fast finishing crew. They were 6th at the Europeans in Kruszwika earlier this season, but they're doing quite well. We're approaching the first timing mark. It's Poland ahead of Ukraine, then Great Britain, just a bow ball ahead of Romania, New Zealand and the crew from the USA. Crew from the USA, I think, not really going to contend a qualifying position for the A final, because not sure what happened. I expected them to be a little bit closer to the front runners, but they may have caught a little bit of a crab early on because they are 5 seconds down on the rest of the field as we ride with the Americans here. You can see them, they're looking together quite well. I'd say the bow seat is slightly, well, no, it's in time here for the crew from the USA, with Claire Sobko in the bow seat of that crew, the only returning member from the crew that raced last year in St. Catharines, finishing 9th overall. As we move back to the overhead shot and still see 3rd from the bottom of the picture, Poland still leading ahead of Romania.
Yeah, I think Romanians also have really strong base for the sculling rowing, and I'm wondering how many of them are already in finals, because it seems like for today every Romanian crew is in the final. if I am right.
We'll have to check that, but I think you might be right. Romania doing quite well, and usually also in a good position for the semi-finals, finishing either first or second, which is a good position to go to the A final. Here we are at halfway. Poland opening up as well, half a length lead ahead of Romania. Great Britain just a quarter of a length, or perhaps half a length down on Romania. And Ukraine, I think after that very fast start, currently in fourth at the moment, not really able to maintain that high level of speed all the way down the course. But they are still in a good position. As we can see, the crew from Poland looking really calm, well put together. Nice play work from the crew from Poland. And they look really calm and cool at this stage of the race.
And I asked my friends which boat class is the most beautiful to look. Most of them say it's a quadruple scull because it's a lot of people, 4 people, and they all do the same thing, like real nice synchronization. So yeah, I like to. At first when I started rowing, I didn't like it, but now I really like to watch, and row is also nice.
Yeah, and it's a fast event as well. It's called because, of course, you have the 8, but then in the 8 there's a Cox, which I think the 8 is slightly quicker in terms of pure boat speed. But I've never raced a quad, but I've met people who did, and you just fly across the course, and it feels it's not an easy boat to row, I think, but if it clicks, it's a wonderful boat to be in.
I raced the quad last year at European Championship, and it's funny how, like, I was comparing the quad training speed is the same as singles racing speed. So you go like so much faster, everything goes by so much faster, but yeah, it's also a tricky boat to row.
Yeah, it needs to be absolutely perfect. I think sculling in a crew boat is just a little bit more difficult because you need to be so precisely together, like you need to be fully synchronized as we ride here with the crew from the USA. In that from left to right we have Mira Meek, Claire Junius, Emma Kirk, and the aforementioned Claire Sopko, who are just coming into that sheltered area. You could see how quickly the water changes from that crosswind condition into these lovely flat water conditions coming into the final 200 meters, 300 meters or so. The USA are down on the leading crews. Poland making a little bit of a move. I think the Polish are taking it up through the reins, still at 35 strokes a minute. You can see how relaxed they still are, but wonderful boat speed. And here are the Polish fans.
Yeah,
it's great to get that little bit of support. The Romanian quad is knocking on that Polish door. They are closing in slightly. It was 11 meters for Poland, but Romania have reduced that to just 9 meters. That's the 1-2. And Great Britain, I think they are sprinting. They're at 37, so they may not go all out, but I think they know they've done enough because they can look back at the rest of the field, clear water.
it's such a big gap, so they're all safe.
Yeah, and I think it will feel amazing for the crew from Poland. They cross the line first ahead of Romania, then Great Britain. That's the 1-2-3. 1-2-3, and then it is New Zealand who actually will take 4th ahead of Ukraine, who have really given it their all together with the USA. We'll see those 3 crews in the B final tomorrow morning. And the athletes will recover here, and Romania, did very well, I think, to stay so close to that Polish quad, which is, I think, one of the favorites, of course, European champions. I think we forgot to mention that, but the Polish crew are European champions from Krušvika earlier this year. You can see here celebrations and, quick congratulations. But after you race your semi-final, you know you're through to the B final. How quickly do you sort of switch focus and then start to prepare for tomorrow's race?
Most of the time, it depends how you expect. But like if it's you like it was unexpected good race, then you're like, it's like similar feeling to winning a gold medal actually, because making the final, it's so difficult sometimes. So, I often like just finish my cool down and then focus on tomorrow, just forget whatever happened today, because you can't stay happy for the whole day, you know. You have to get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, so fairly quickly you move sort of back into focus and to concentrate on the biggest race of the regatta, which is of course the A final. Next race on the course, the semi-final of the men's quadruple sculls. We have Serbia, Lithuania, Germany, Switzerland, Romania and Ireland competing. The first of course, two semi-finals. And we'll have a quick look at the start. Closest to you with the bow number 1 is that crew from Serbia. Then the home favorites, as the camera looks here at the home favorites from Lithuania, with Ivar Lipis in the stroke seat, and they're already off, so a very quick start, and a very quick start by that Lithuanian quad as well. Nice even start all round, and we'll move back into Ray and just look at the power these guys are putting in. Phenomenal.
They look so determined.
Yeah, they look, and I think in this event, because it's such a fast event, you really need to be in the mix. In the smaller boat class, you can sort of allow somebody to get like half a length on you. If you are fairly confident, you may have a better boat speed over the full 2,000 meters. But in this bigger boat class, you need to be on the front of the race right from the get-go.
Oh, I agree absolutely, because it's a big boat, and then if you get behind, you can get a wave, like a wash from the other boats. So it's difficult to row.
And I think they're doing very well, actually. Looking at the speed graphic, you could see the crew from Lithuania doing quite well, quicker than most crews, like more than 20 kilometers an hour. And you could see them here as well. It's the white boat on the right-hand side of the picture. And I think they've gone out with a clear intent to be first at 500.
Yeah. The two-seat is my doubles from the World Championship that we won a gold medal brother. So when we racing with the same girl in juniors, we won twice junior championship. He was like 2 or 3 years old, so it's nice to see how now is so big and rowing so fast.
Yeah, that's amazing, and great to see him racing here. And it's goal 1, I think, for that Lithuanian quad, be first at 500. They can tick that off. They managed to. They were slightly ahead of Switzerland, together with the crew from Romania. That's the 1, 2, 3. Germany also right in the mix here. Germany, of course, always a country to look towards. The German quad was the quickest boat to qualify for the semi-final from the heats. So we expect a strong second half from that German quad. And of course, Germany also a country with plenty of pedigree in the quadruple sculls. Slight surprise to me, but probably not for the athletes competing. But Switzerland also doing very well here. Just 2 meters down on Romania, and Lithuania, well, more or less level with the crew from Romania at this stage of the race. And it goes by so quick. We're nearly at halfway, and there are still 4 crews within 2 meters.
Yeah, it's hard to tell which one will be the top 3 crews, but I hope Lithuanians will be there.
Yeah, I think they'll have the support of the entire home crowd, and they have put themselves in a position to get to the A final. But I think this is crunch time for all these crews. Romania just down on Germany, just 2 100ths of a second down. Then Switzerland, Lithuania, nearly 3/4 of a second down. You can see the 4 crews separating themselves from the Irish and crew from and the Serbian crews. And this is really the place in the race where it's so difficult. That third 500, all the athletes will tell you that third 500 is where it starts to hurt really, really bad, and you really need to dig deep and get the best out of yourselves. And at the moment, Germany is getting the best out of it. They are pushing a little bit of a lead here ahead of Romania and Switzerland.
I'm so surprised that German are just at rate 33. It's so local for the quad, but they go so fast, so maybe it works for them.
Yeah, you could see it on the graphic. All the crews in the top 4, except Germany, are at 37 strokes a minute. And the Germans really using power more than rate. And that may be a deliberate tactic. That may just be like the way they prefer to race. But it's paying off so far. And you know that if you are in the sort of slightly lower range, like 36, you do have another gear to go to if you need it in the final sprint. But if I were in that German crew looking at the Romanians just half a canvas down, I wouldn't be too confident just yet. With Switzerland sandwiched in between them, and the Swiss and the Lithuanians, that's going to be the race to watch for that final spot in the A final. And the Lithuanians doing really well here at the moment to go with Switzerland, Germany and Romania.
Yeah, they are so close. I hope they have something left in them. Oh, they are in top 3.
Yeah, they just moved into the top 3. It's by a whisker, and we're still 300 meters from the line. But Germany and Romania treating us to a fantastic race here coming into the last 250. Romania just a canvas down on Germany as we see the backs of the Lithuanian crew who are just ahead of Switzerland at the moment.
That's so close. They're within 1 meter from the fourth. I can't even look. It's so stressful.
Oh, Romania, they take it up to 40 strokes a minute. Ivar Lipis in the stroke seat. Will he deliver a famous place in the A final? They're going toe-to-toe with Switzerland. So you could hear the cowbells in the distance. Germany now taking it up to 37, 35 strokes a minute to push ahead of Romania. And then who's going to get the last spot in the A final? It's going to be so close. It's too close up at the moment to call. Germany will take first, Romania will take second, but on this, the surge will determine the A finals for Romania and Switzerland. Oh, that was close. Germany, Romania, no doubt about it. They take first and second in this semi-final, but behind them, I'm not sure. It's Ireland cross the line ahead of the crew from Serbia. Second place is Romania, just under 6 minutes, by the way. That's quite rapid. And then we have to wait for the official confirmation. And it's been given to Switzerland. That's a heartbreak for the Lithuanians.
Oh, it was so close. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a huge disappointment, but a fantastic performance nonetheless. Really putting themselves in a position to get into the A final and really putting it all out in the water to remain in contact. And boy, were they close. Have to wait for official confirmation. Here is the 1/10 of a second.
So close, yeah.
Oh.
But I think, you know, it will be really hard for them because they probably will be, not probably, for sure will be sad. But for the future, it's such a good experience because you get hungry for wanting to do better. So I hope it'll be a good lesson for them.
Either way, it's a learning experience,
Yeah.
and it's horrible to say, but you tend to learn more from the races you lose than the races you win.
Exactly, I agree absolutely. And I think when you're a junior, you take everything so much more like stressfully, I would say, emotionally.
Yeah, that's probably true. And I'm sure they will be disappointed, but they will sort of refocus quickly, and then, well, we'll just have to go and win the B final, or at least whenever you race a B final, you just go out there and try to win it, nonetheless.
And you want to show that you were expected to be in the A final, so you want to win the B final by a lot, I guess.
Yeah. Show that you're A final material.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you're right. We just had a quick look at France, the other semi-finalist, and here is the crew from Poland, stroked by Timon Konopka. Italy here, Giovanni Paoli in the stroke seat, closest to you, in lane 3. Slovenia here with Jakub Korbar in the stroke seat. And in the bow seat, Anze Bizjak. There's something probably with the crew from Belgium, as you can see, probably a little bit of a technical issue with Finn de Smet. I think there's something on his foot plate. We'll probably get a little bit more information, but that may cause a slight delay as we look at the crew in lane 6 from Australia.
Maybe it's something with his regular shoes.
Yeah, it looks like it. Of course.
It's probably the shoes.
Yeah, probably one of the worst things to happen is that your feet get separated from the boat like halfway into the race. They probably would have noticed this during their warm-up and were very clever to make sure they got a little bit of... they alerted the umpires that this was an issue. But I think feet are going into shoes once again, and look at the flames on the socks. Love that. A little bit of a detail from Finn de Smet, together with Xander Lamon, Cornel Baert, and Daan Driessen, who is stroking that crew. And I think we're all good to start that second semi-final of the men's quadruple sculls. That will take a little bit of a shuffling. The crew needs to get straight and true in their lane.
For me, a similar thing happened actually for, I think it was Greece girl, I can't remember, at U23 championships. Something happened to her boat and we finished the whole warm-up. We were about to go to the start line and we have to race in the evening because something happened with the boat, so we have to do the warm-up twice.
Yes. Well,
so sometimes it happens.
Yeah, sometimes happens, and but then your race was postponed.
Yeah, until the evening.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is such a difficult moment for all the athletes because you know there's something wrong. You know everybody's waiting on you. There's quite a lot of pressure, and there is enough pressure as it is. And it's all about sort of refocusing, sort of getting back into your bubble and sort of focusing on that very first stroke as all these crews are now again lined up, and they'll be called to attention by the umpire any moment now. Here we are. I think that was a 2-minute call, so there is a slight delay. Yeah, we're confirmation. The umpire has given us a 2 minutes delay, which gives all these athletes a little bit of time to breathe, refocus after that delay, because we should have been underway 2 minutes ago. As you can see, the crew from the fans from Slovenia. The crew from Slovenia. Here's the Italian tricolore.
I love Italian fans. They're always so emotional and loud.
Yeah, very passionate. Yeah. And here are the crew, the Belgian fans, in support of de Smet, Lamon, Baert, and Driessen. Norwegian fans also here. There's no Norwegian crew in this race, but everybody's really keen on. And look at the crowds here. Just
I don't think we saw any Norwegians today at the semi-finals, did we? I don't
no, I don't think we did.
Maybe they will be in the singles.
No, I think you're right. We haven't seen any Norwegian fans as we look at the grandstand, and it's been a packed grandstand all week. It's lovely to see. And here's the umpire calling the crews to attention, which means we're about to go. Ah, here they are. Whoa, fast few strokes for all these crews. Not waiting around, least of all this crew from Italy with Giovanni Paoli in the stroke seat. And well, I don't have to look at the telemetry. I know this crew is up at 50 strokes a minute and great speed, great rhythm there being set by the Italians. France, Poland, Italy, Slovenia, Belgium and Australia from right to left as we ride here with the crew from Belgium. Lovely flat stern end of that crew from Belgium. The Belgians at 42 strokes a minute, and of course the crew from Belgium raced earlier this season. They just missed out on a podium in Krušvika earlier this year, and they have been racing the crew besides them, the crew from Slovenia, who were in that same the same final in Krušvika, and in that race. The crew from Belgium got the one better over Slovenia, but Slovenia was slightly quicker to qualify for this semi-final, hence the better lane for Slovenia. We're a minute in, and we look at the crew from Poland and Italy. Those are the two crews who are moving fastest across the course at the moment, with the Italians really flying out. Really making an early marker here in this semi-final, just half a bow ball ahead of Poland, just ahead of the crew from Australia.
First 500 meters, it's so hard to say something because they still have 1,500 meters left, but I think Italians will do quite good.
Yeah, I think the Italian crew, it's a quite a young crew actually. It's 16 and 17-year-olds in this crew, but we've seen Italian athletes from all the age ranges doing quite well. There is some experience in Pietro Zampaglione in the 2-seat, for example, who got a silver medal in Krušvika. As we ride here with the crew from France, with Louis Merdens in the stroke seat. They're sort of comfortable, 36 strokes a minute, not too high for a men's quad. And they look to be rowing really nicely together, but the race out in front is still being led by Italy. Poland clinging on, and a little bit of a surprise to see the Australians, not really a quick crew to qualify for this semi-final. A mostly untested crew at the world rowing level, but they are in third and final qualifying position for the A final at the moment as it stands, but we haven't even reached halfway. We are crossing into the second half right about now.
Yeah, so now they should starting to get less crosswind.
Yeah, and if you're you look at those crews from Italy and Poland, they look sort of set for first and second. But if you were to bet on who's going to get that final position, who would your money be on?
It's difficult to tell, but maybe I would say it would be either maybe Australians. They look quite strong, but I don't know. They're all quite close, but we will see. But I would say maybe Australians. I don't know.
I would probably agree with you. I think the crew from Australia is looking really nicely together. I mean, it's a crew from different parts of Australia, from Victoria, from West Australia and Queensland, coming together in this quad. They are third at the moment, but Slovenia is also a crew to watch, I think. And we'll see how they stack up when they get to the 1,500 meter mark. But Italy is still leading. We had a lovely picture from the Italians just a few moments ago, and they're so well together in terms of the way they are rowing. You can see the lovely hang on the end of the blade for Giovanni Paoli in the stroke seat, and he's setting for Italian terms, a comfortable 37 strokes a minute to follow, which is quite high, to be honest, but they are making it work. Poland still in the mix, and this is the race to watch between Slovenia and the Aussies. Belgium, the Belgians not out of it just yet, just a second down on the Australians, but this crew is, I think, now really powering through the Slovenians.
Yeah, and they're getting so much faster.
Yeah, it's and if you look at the speed, relative speed, I think the crew from Slovenia is really pushing on now. These are the leaders, the Tricolore from Italy in the blue vests. They look really comfortable. They're nearly a full length ahead now, and Slovenia putting in a great burst. You could just see that there were the slightly faster boat. I think the Australians, you can see on the graphic, are starting to pay a bit, I'd say, for the early pace. The rest of these crews all above 20 kilometers an hour as they come into their finishing rhythms. Italy looks so good out in front. They will take this, but the last spot in the A final, that is one to watch as the bow number 4 of Slovenia comes into view. Italy in these tailwind conditions, lovely conditions here on the lake. It's the Italians will take this, no doubt, and a fantastic race plan from Slovenia. They may even get close to that Polish Baubal. It's, well, just about a canvas in the end, but Italy win. It's nearly clear water for them. Then it's Poland, Slovenia, and that's the 1, 2, 3. And those three crews will be joining Germany, Switzerland and Romania in the A final. The Aussies miss out together with Belgium and the crew from France. We'll see them in the B final together with Ireland, Lithuania and Serbia tomorrow morning. And I think you mentioned we shouldn't compare times too much.
Yeah.
But I think that Italian quad was the quickest boat from the semi-finals.
I was looking to Slovenians the last 500 meters, and their stroke rate was the lowest the whole time. But somehow their speed was so good. So they did some maybe technical changes or something that they got some extra speed without raising the stroke rate.
Yeah, I think if you can just keep in like good quality strokes, you don't need to go all the way up to 45 strokes a minute. And if you can just apply that power effectively, which they did to their credit, which gives Slovenia a place in the A final. So wonderful performance. And from one of the biggest boats, we now move into the smallest boat we have. We move into the single. We already discussed racing in small boats here on the water. It's the women's single sculls. 6 crews here competing. We have Lithuania, Moldova, Ukraine, Spain, Slovenia and Canada racing here. I think the quickest one to qualify for this was Esther Fuerte Cachon from Spain. She was quickest, and here they are. Such a different atmosphere from the quads just a few moments ago. Here is the Lithuanian athlete.
Gabija Stankevičiūtė.
Yeah, she looks really focused, puffing her cheeks, trying to get that.
She's such a nice person, and she, like, her personality is just like her rowing. Her rowing is so nice and calm and relaxed, and it really fits her personality.
Yeah, that's great. And we'll hope to see her featuring at the front of this race, as we saw Diana Plotern and Ilinia Batsalai from Moldova and Ukraine. We saw Esther Fuerte Cachon from Spain and Hanna Indrihar, and of course, last but not least, Lucy Hallett from Canada. I think the Spanish athletes made a little bit of a cross before her race.
Yeah, everyone has different rituals, and whatever helps them, whatever they believe. Yeah, Gabija was rowing in a women's double at European Championship, and she switched to a single. I don't know the reason why, but I guess she's really fast in a single.
Yeah, she really looks fast in the single, and of course it's a big change. I think you're all on your own. It's slightly different in terms of the physiology of the racing. It's a longer race, so it's there's a bit more tactics going on as well in a single, and you tend to see the crews sort of racing each other more than producing the fastest time. And in the end, they produce the fastest time. But you can see a little bit of tactics going on. You know the strengths and weaknesses from your opposition. You can see in the middle of the picture here a fast start by Fuerte Cachon from Spain. And she was really fast in the first few strokes and is an athlete who probably prefers to dominate the race from the front.
Yeah, I remember when I was racing at U23, I was racing twice at U23 Championship in a single. No, maybe 3 times. 2 of them I won, and each start was so different. I was so slow from the start. I remember in 2016, actually, I was racing in Amsterdam. Yeah, so I was so slow, but I managed to win. But it was a headwind, so.
Yeah, well, the Bosbaan has quite unique set of circumstances.
The first 500 meters were such a big headwind and so wavy, and I just didn't feel so technical. But then I found the rhythm, And yeah, and in a single, it's different. Even if you lose in in 1 kilometer, you still you can gain a lot in a single. It's different from the bigger boat class.
Yeah, because you can sort of accelerate. If you push, that sort of instantly translates to a bit more boat speed.
Yeah.
And if you look at the sort of the first 500 meters, Esther Huerta-Carchon, clear water margin. She's now sort of established herself at the front of the race really effectively. We'll just have a quick look because she's ahead, 17 meters ahead of Hanna Indrihar from Slovenia. And still in the mix, on the left-hand side of the picture here, we still have Stanka Vichute from Lithuania, currently sitting in third, doing very well, but just 2 meters ahead of Ukraine's Irina Batisalai. And yeah, if you're in this position, you're in that second 500. So how do you tackle that situation?
I think in the single it's really important. Well, in any boat class, it's really important to stay in your boat and don't look too much. But I think you have to go on your own tactic, your own rhythm until 1,200, and then you can start, or actually until 1,000, and then you can slowly start. Getting the rate higher and pushing more, because the finish line is so close, and I always think that everyone is dying because it's so hard for them, and I feel inside that I'm getting extra energy. It's just in my head that
Yeah, but I think in singles racing it's all inside your head anyways, because this is there's nobody in the boat to motivate you. Nobody.
You have to believe yourself so much. Yeah.
Exactly, and you need to be so mentally sort of right on that edge of pushing yourself to the best performance you can. And that makes single racing quite unique. And you can see also in the international and the senior level, there's so much respect for the other athletes in the singles. Because it's probably mentally, it's probably the hardest boat
I would
class
say,
to
yes.
race.
And Gabi is doing great. She's in second position already. Yeah.
Yes, she is. Yeah, she's moved into second position as we see the Spanish athlete Huerta-Carchon, who is leading comfortably at this moment. And you can see on the graphic it's almost 25 meters ahead, and she is still one of the quickest boats out on the water. But it's really close between Lithuania, Slovenia, Ukraine. I think all these crews within 5 meters or so. And in terms of single sculling, that's really close.
Yeah.
I mean, in eights racing, that would be a bit of a gap because you can't accelerate that fast.
Yeah.
But here, even if you're 10 meters down, you could still overhaul the other single if you have a great finishing rhythm.
I just love seeing how she rows. She looks so smooth, and her coach was coaching me in 2023, so he always said just the nicest words about her, because as I said, she's such a nice person and she has really good rhythm.
Yeah, I was about to say that she looks that rhythm is really solid. It's really consistent.
And she also likes do some crafting, like knitting, and it's. I think she did some gymnastics, if I am right, when she was younger. So she has some really good sports base, but she also likes some crafting. So it's. Fits to her personality.
Yeah, and it's a great way to sort of take your mind off racing, perhaps, or in between training blocks, just to sort of switch off a bit. Yeah. And, so far it's paying dividends because she's on one of the outside lanes, so she wasn't the quickest boat to qualify for this semi-final, but she's right in the mix. We're approaching three quarters, we're at 1,500. It is still Spain leading, but behind her it is still so close between Lithuania, Ukraine, and now coming into view Slovenia. I think that top four is quite established at the moment. I think the athlete from Moldova, Diana Plotean, is out of a place for the A final, as is Lucy Hallett from Canada, I'm sad to say, because she's clear water down on the Lithuanian. But look at the spread in this field. I don't think we have seen gaps as big as this.
Yeah, I think
so far today.
It's singles that can make such a big gaps, because in quads or fours you don't see that big of a gap quite often.
And I just love, we had a lovely picture of Gabriela just a moment ago. You could see the connection on her shoulders. As soon as she puts the blades in, she makes sure that entire chain from the foot blade to the oar is sort of tense and ready to go. As we come into the final 200 meters, and a big push by Batsalai from Ukraine. Sees her moving into second. You could see her just elevating that rhythm to 35 strokes a minute. And Stankovičiūtė from Lithuania now really making a move, but I think she's done enough for the A final. I don't want to jinx anything yet, but it's a great final sprint. Spain outside of the picture, but she's going to take the win here. But a fantastic rhythm being set in that last few hundred meters by Batsalai from Ukraine for the second position.
And I am happy for Happy, because yesterday I was talking with the other girl and she said that Gabia can't keep the high rate, but now she's going over 36, so it seems like she can. And I heard that Gabia can row only 30, but she can row much faster than that.
Yeah, and she's actually pushing back Batsalai from Ukraine into third, crossing the line now. I think she just did enough to put her bow ball ahead of the Ukrainian. And that's the top three. We'll wait for official confirmation, but I think I'm right in saying that Gabia took second ahead of Batsalai from Ukraine. And indeed, confirmation here of the top three. Fourth across the line, I think that was Slovenia, outside of my view at least. But here is the Lithuanian Gabia Stankovičiūtė. I think happy, or well, perhaps just job done and immediate refocus on the A final, because she's racing the A final tomorrow. Great stuff.
I'm so happy for her, and she has still another whole year left at junior, so
yeah, here is the official confirmation. So Spain, Lithuania, Ukraine go to the A final. Then it was indeed Slovenia, Moldova and Canada for the B final tomorrow. And we go straight back into the action, because that second semi-final is waiting for all of us. We have Denmark, Norway, Austria, Greece, Latvia, and the People's Republic of China. And if I hear this correctly, the umpire is already putting them on the starters' orders. And indeed, the green light, the buzzer, quick start by all these crews, and a wonderful picture here of the start. And you could see here the very quick athlete from Greece, of course, that is Varvara Likomitru, probably the favorite to win the A final tomorrow, but she still has to qualify for that A final. We'll move into the action as we are here. It's we're about to approach 500 meters gone, and it is indeed Greece who are leading at the moment, and she's almost 1.25 seconds up on Maria Hauser from Austria, and right behind Greece and Austria we have Zhang Menghang from the People's Republic of China on the left-hand side of your picture. No, the right-hand side of the picture, excuse me. Then it's Denmark, Latvia and Norway, and that's the first Norwegian crew I think we've seen all day. So we know who they're cheering for. They're cheering, of course, for Fay Louise Lange in lane number 2.
And the times for the first 500 meters are about the same as from the first semi-final. It was also 1:52, so the better conditions probably are the same.
You can see the Norwegian Lange here getting into that race rhythm. She's at 32 strokes a minute, which is a bit on the low side. I expect most of these athletes to be slightly higher. And indeed, the Austrian and the Greeks are at 34 and 33 strokes respectively. So that's not that much higher. The under-23 gold medalist from Greece looking in fine form as we approach halfway.
And you can clearly see that the crosswind is from the left side. And if it's from the left side, it's so much better than from the right side, because the lake is quite big and there's a lot of place from the right side for the wind. And from the left side, there is not that much space for the wind to pick up, so they have really good conditions. And now after like 750, it looks like it's straight tailwind.
Yeah, so you could see, you could also see the sailing boats in the background here, but you could also see that on this side of the lake, the water actually looks quite flat. As you mentioned, the waves don't have any time to build up just yet because the wind is coming from the left-hand side. All crews now across the halfway mark. It's still Greece, Austria, China, Latvia. So Evija Fraimane from Latvia in the third position here. As you can see here, that lovely dynamic rhythm of Likomitru from Greece, but she isn't really able to walk away from Maria Hauser from Austria just yet. We're in the thick of the action and the third 500, and you can just see there, the picture is slightly deceptive. There is less than half a boat length separating Greece and Austria at the moment, and well, fair to Zhang from the People's Republic of China. She's really doing well here to be in third at the moment.
It seems like it's a little bit, for sure, it's smaller gap than it was in the semi-final from the first to the second place. I think it was around 20 meters or so. So Austrian rower is also really close to the Greece rower.
Yeah, and I think if my memory serves from the Under-23 World Championships, this is probably the part of the race where Likomitru would like to sort of get a little bit more of a margin in the rest of the field. But so far, at times she is slightly quicker than Hauser from Austria, but she's not really able to put that full length and a bit of clear water in the athlete from Austria just yet, as they come into picture here at 1500. And it's a great tussle between these two athletes because neither of them can relax. If you are Lange, if you are Hauser from Austria, you'd like to keep that pressure on and see if the Greek athlete might crack under that pressure, as they have 500 meters to go. And well, actually, fair play once more to Zhang from the People's Republic of China. She moved closer to Hauser from Austria in that third 500. You can see the Chinese athletes in the background of this picture. Here, right full in view, is Evija Fraimane from Latvia, completely focused on her stern, really keeping her focus inside that bubble. And she may not know this, but she is in a race for fourth and fifth with Nielsen from Denmark, who is racing on the far side of the lake. So they don't know that she's probably having her focus so much in the inside of her own shell. She probably doesn't know where she is compared to the Danish athlete, but she'll be stepping it up anytime soon, and indeed she does. Who's also stepping it up is the athlete from Greece, Likomitru, now really stepping it up, and now she is breaking clear of Hauser from Austria. It's taken 1800 meters, and here she goes, but look at the Chinese athlete, Mehan Zhang, in lane number 6, an outside lane, but she may even come close to second, or well, she is in second position at the moment. Hauser from Austria also stepping it up, but I think she's spent, whereas Likomitru still has a little bit of energy left in the tank, and Zhang from China really doing everything she can to make sure she gets into that A final, and I think she will.
She will, for sure.
Yeah, it's a fantastic race. She sort of kept her distance, but she's now making inroads, and she's actually got overlap on Likomitru's stern, but it will be Greece, then the People's Republic of China. Hauser from Austria has done enough for third and an A final position. Then Nielsen from Denmark, fourth, and the first to be relegated to the B final, together with Fraimane from Latvia and Lange from Norway. There's Maria Hauser from Austria. I think well, satisfied with that. She's into the A final together with Menghan Zhang from the People's Republic of China and Varvara Likomitru from Greece complement that A final as well. As we go to, I think, Eva, the last two races of the day. It's already, we move from the women's single straight into the action with the men's single. Of course, two AB semi-finals. And we'll have a closer look at them in a few moments. And here it is. We have Viktor Jurga from Slovakia in lane 1, Thomas Kala, lane 2, Mats Schmeid from Germany. And we'll dive straight into action, but I'll just give you a quick summary. Vicky from Switzerland, Pinch from Norway, and Madigan from the USA. And you can see the American on the far side, because closest to the camera is Viktor Jurga, as we ride here with the athlete from Czechia. That's Thomas Kala, coached by Petr Belcha, and he'll be looking to cement himself at the front of the race. They're approaching 500 meters gone. We're almost into the second, in the second 500 of this race, and it is the USA leading, and that's a great showing from Tony Madigan from the United States of America.
141 is quite a fast first 500 meters.
Yeah, it is, and a decent margin as well. You can see by the graphic he is 9 meters ahead of Mats Schmeid, who was a gold medalist in St. Catherine's last year. I think he was in the quad, and there's so many medalists in this semi-final. It's a really stacked field as we ride with the crew, the athlete from Slovakia, Viktor Jurga, in lane number 1. You can see here he's really putting the effort in. He's at 34 strokes a minute, so long, powerful strokes from the Slovakian scholar. 750 meters gone, and it's still the USA ahead of Germany, Switzerland, Norway, and Czechia, with Jurga from Slovakia in 6th position at the moment. You can see the American Tony Madigan there on the bottom side of the picture. And again, a slight surprise to see an athlete from one of the outside lanes featuring so close to the front of this race. And I think Madigan from the USA trains on the Potomac River, which is, I think, quite a wide body of water. So he'll will have experience racing in a little bit of choppy waters. As he approaches halfway, he's still putting his white boat out in front across the halfway mark, about 3/4 of a length ahead of Germany.
I think they had the quarterfinal yesterday, right? And
yes,
yesterday was quite a big headwind, right? I wasn't here, but I saw the time, so it's you can't tell much if they're on the outside lane, because maybe yesterday was not the weather they were expected, and it was difficult to row, and today it's so much nicer weather, and for them it's easier to go faster. So it doesn't mean if you're in the middle you will be the fastest, for sure.
You're right, and it's great to see the American doing so well. I know he has a big support base at his home club, with so many athletes and coaches contributing to his campaign towards this under-19 World Championships. I think it's called the Village People, as a slight nod to the Village People, but it takes a village to raise a child, the saying, and parallel to that, it takes a big group of people to get an athlete to this level, and it's great to see Madigan from the USA doing so well in the first part of this race, and he's still, just a meter or two now behind Germany with Mats Schmeid from Germany. You can see the two front runners quite clearly from this picture as we approach 1,500 meters. I would have expected the German to come through at this stage, but it's amazing to see Tony Madigan from the USA doing so well. And then the big question to be asked is who's going to get that last spot into the A final. At the moment, Switzerland and Norway are looking really good for it, but it's, as you can see,
it's so close.
It's very close, yeah.
It's hard to tell which one will win. But yeah, I think it's so difficult when you're fighting for that third spot, like when you're either third or fourth, and it's so much pressure. And
yeah, and for the two front runners in this race, so for Germany and for the USA, having two crews competing for that final spot also makes, gives them no breathing room to relax. You can't really enjoy the last 250 meters now because you have two crews absolutely flying towards you.
Yeah,
you can see the American now struggling a bit with
they're so close.
Pinch from Norway moving closer to the American.
Yeah. I like how you can hear the bells from the Switzerland crowd. So they don't have to say anything, they just have to ring the bells and the rover will go faster.
Yeah, Sebastiano Vicky from Switzerland, he needs every little bit of encouragement as he comes into the final 100 meters of this race, because Rafael Pinch from Norway, you can see him on the big screen now, really motoring through and actually putting a little bit of pressure on Mats Schmeid from Germany, who has been leading this from about 1,300 meters on. Look at him go. The top speed, the finishing rhythm of the Norwegian, absolutely something to behold. The American Madigan is really struggling, and look at the Swiss athlete. I think Germany has done enough. Across the line he goes. A final for Mats Schmeid. And I think he stopped rowing a bit early. Pinch from Norway stopped rowing a bit early, but he gets into the A final together with Tony Madigan. Fantastic performance by the American, and Sebastiano Vicky from Switzerland. He was so close, but in the end, just missed out on an A final. But boy, what a fantastic race on his part. Across the line, outside of the picture here, you can see, I think this is Mats Schmeid from Germany celebrating a great performance, and hats off to you, sir, for that race in the semi-final. We see him racing in the center lane tomorrow in the A final. And here is third place, Tony Madigan. Congratulations, and a little bit of a chat he had, I think, between him and Rafael Pinch from Norway. A little bit of a wave to all the people back home who supported his campaign towards Trakai. Yeah, hats off to you too. And I would probably be the same as Rafael Pinch, because if you've been racing in rowing, you completely dehydrated at the end of it. And here is official confirmation of the results.
That's interesting to see, because when I was a junior, we believed that any extra weight is not good, so we never carried any water during the race.
Yeah, well, my coach actually forbade, so we had to empty our bottles. But yeah, still, I mean, the first thing you want to have is a little bit of water, because if you've been racing like at full racing speed, your mouth dries up, and I think that was one of the first sensations you have when you're racing. Those first 500 meters, you start to feel your mouth is drying up, and then the lactate starts to burn, and well, all the rest of it.
People are saying that Galve Lake has such a clean water that you can basically drink. No, it's not good to drink it, but it's not that dangerous.
Well, I'm sure some people will try it, but
I did once.
And were you all right?
I was about to race and my mouth was so dry, I just had to do something.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures. And for the last time today, we take you to the start here on the lake in Trakai at the Under-19 World Rowing Championships. We have Turgunov from Uzbekistan, Wellington from Great Britain, Shinerel from Austria, we have Kup from Hungary, we have Slangen from the Netherlands, and we have Charchilava from Georgia in lane 6. And these athletes are going all out. It is their chance to get into the A final. And at the moment, again, one of the outside lanes, we see Georgia, Nicolosi, Devi, Karchilava, who is doing very well in the opening minute, already putting almost a full-length lead into Hugo Slange from the Netherlands, the athlete from Gouda from the Netherlands, who is, I think, currently in third, because second, I think, is Turgunov from Uzbekistan. But the picture may be slightly deceptive from this angle, and the graphic confirms that Turgunov from Uzbekistan Uzbekistan, who made his international debut here on the Wednesday in the heats, is doing very well for himself. Approaching 500 meters gone, and look at how dynamic that rhythm is from the Uzbekistan athlete at 34 strokes a minute. Looks so powerful.
Actually, I'm surprised by Uzbekistan rowers. I never saw them rowing so well at junior level. So, yeah, maybe they changed something in their system. Maybe they have a new coach or something, but they're quite fast. Women's pair was really fast, and then men's single.
Yeah, well, whatever they're doing, it's working.
It works.
Because we have seen so many crews from Uzbekistan doing very well here on the semi-final day here in Trakai. And yeah, we're just past 500 meters gone. So it was Turganov first across that timing mark, just ahead of Karchilava from Georgia. Third was actually the Austrian Paul Schinerel, who is just outside of the picture, but he's actually moved into second position following that first timing mark. Fourth was Wellington, Joseph Wellington from Great Britain, from Windsor Boys School in lane number 2. You can see him here in the center of the picture, racing in that black racing shell. Fifth across 500 was Hugo Slanger from the Netherlands, just ahead of Kup from Hungary. You can see the athlete from Uzbekistan, Yamalbek Turganov. He's a really tall athlete. I think he's really long levers, and of course in a single, the longer your levers, so the longer your arms and legs, the longer your stroke length, the more speed you can generate.
But also it's difficult with being tall, and if you are bigger, it's to find the balance and relax, because for example, in Lithuania, the best single sculler, she won a bronze medal at Paris Olympics. She is only 170 centimeters. She's so small and she's so fast because she uses her body so well. So yeah, I think now there is no standard like gold height for singles. It's either you feel the boat because it's so sensitive or you're not.
Yeah, well, the single, we discussed this earlier.
Yeah.
It's you need to be powerful, but you also need to be balanced. You need to have your skills, but how the way you manage yourself during the stroke and the recovery. We can see here his legs. I mean, his knees only barely almost touch his chin.
If you're tall and you have good feeling, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect, and you can see how aggressively he places the blades here, and the lovely drone picture here of Yamalbek Turganov to lead his semi-final is quite something.
He uses his legs really well.
Yeah, it's a great bit of technical rowing as well. And you can see and he's in a position now. Racing on the outside lane usually isn't great because you can only see the rest of the competition to one side. You would prefer to race in one of the center lanes where you have a better view of the rest of the course.
But then you have to look only to one side.
yeah, that may simplify things in a way. But at the moment, he's doing very well. He's got a clear water margin. The picture is slightly deceptive because the camera is slightly behind the athletes, but he's well in front, Turganov. And then it's a matter of sort of, well, maintaining this. You're at 1,300 meters, nearly 1,400 meters gone. So a few more minutes left to race, and you'll have to just keep a close eye on the rest of the field with the crew from the athlete from Austria, Paul Schimmeren, just in second position, clear water down. And good news for any of the fans from Great Britain, because Joseph Wellington in lane 2 is actually moved into third at the moment. And we'll see how he stacks up at 1,500. Yes, here he is. So that's the 1, 2, 3. And coming into view right now, that's Kup from Hungary in lane number 4. And he will be the one to watch, because if he starts sprinting early, which he will.
And he's not that far away, so yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty close behind the Hungarian. I think the Netherlands and Georgia clear water margin down on the rest of the field. So I'm afraid we won't see them featuring in the front of this race in the last 250. But this is where it counts. There's just 10 meters separating Hungary from Great Britain. I'm sure that Joseph Wellington is well aware of the Hungarian athlete coming towards them. And now you have to go. I mean, you need to sprint early. And I think even for Turganov, who is in a comfortable position, he will have to raise the rate.
Yeah, and he is racing. He looks so fast.
Yeah, he looks really, really fast, and he's at 36 strokes a minute. And given his physiology, that's a high rate of striking. And but he sees the other athletes coming towards him because Schimerl from Austria is really pushing on. It's just a length now, where there was clear water earlier. Wellington from Great Britain still in a good position to get that final spot in the A final, but all bets are off because it's just 50 meters to go. Turmanov still looking great out in front, but you can see the way he's heaving his body. He's absolutely using every bit of length, and at the moment the Austrian is really closing him down so fast, less than half a length now. And
Hungarian.
Look at the Hungarian coming out of nowhere. There he is, Kup from Hungary. Actually may have just taken third out of the hands of Joseph Wellington on the line there. An amazing surprise by the Hungarian. Nobody saw him coming. There's big surprised faces all around the grandstand. Where did he come from? And we may have to wait for official confirmation. So first place, that is Jamelbek Turganov. We'll see him in the A final. We already knew that. Second is Paul Schimerl. Also, but third place has been given to Barnabas Kup from Hungary. He beats Joseph Wellington for that last spot in the A final by, nearly 0.3 of a second.
That was such a good sprint.
Wow, I'm amazed. That is a fantastic final. Well, I'd say 100 meters, because he was, when I looked at him at 150 meters to go, he was still 10 meters down on Joseph Wellington from Great Britain. And I may have jinxed it, so I do apologize. But it's all credit to Kup from Hungary to absolutely fly and burn through any lead, because he was actually quite close to the Austrian as well in the end. There's not much separating the 2 and 3.
But the Great Britain athlete now should know that he needs to work a little bit on the finish, and it's a good lesson for him as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was just unable to respond or unaware that Kup was actually
I think
actually
Hungarian
going to make
has such a good sprint, so it's hard to respond sometimes.
Yeah, it was, an amazing race and a fantastic sprint by Barnabas Kup from Hungary to round off the racing today, because this was already the last race of the day, Eva. So looking back at today, any races that stuck with you?
Actually, I really like the bigger boat classes because how close it was, but for me it was actually I was looking to German single sculler. He caught a crab before the finish line, and I thought if he will fall out, it will be so bad. But yeah, it just, for me, it's amazing how, as I mentioned before, it's not over until it's over. So each athlete has to fight until the last stroke, because you never know what can happen. So I think we had really interesting races today.
Yeah, and today, of course, was all about semi-finals. So we're sort of shuffling the deck, as you could say, for the finals tomorrow. I think I like this last race so much because it was such a surprise. But we've seen great racing all around, from the pairs, the doubles, and the quads. We've seen amazing racing today, and if you're looking at the big screen, you can see here. I think this was the French women's pair who just lost it on the line, and who were in third position. And then caught a crab just, inches from the line and were relegated to the B final. But all these athletes have a chance tomorrow to redeem themselves. Half of them we'll see in the A final. The other half we'll see tomorrow in the B finals, which will be tomorrow morning. We'll start with the B finals, and then move to the A finals later in the afternoon. So a big thank you from Iefra and myself, Tim van Vliet. It's been lovely to be your commentator here today, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Please do tune in to the World Rowing live stream here at the Under-19 World Rowing Championships in Trakai, Lithuania. See you tomorrow.